Wendy Bell Radio is live.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. What's going on? Good afternoon, Wendy Bell Radio Army, because that's who you guys are. The people who are here this early have been here for hours. Holy cow, who's in the crosshairs of this weather that we're supposed to be getting this weekend? So I'm at the gym this morning and this guy walks in as I'm about to be leaving. He's walking in to warm up. And I'm like, hey, Matt, what'd you hear about the weather? Because my gal, Mary Beth, and I were talking about it. I've got it's between 5 inches and 50. And that's what he's like. He's like, I don't know. I'm hearing 6 inches or 60. And I'm like, see, it's like, how much of a spectrum could you have there?
My guy says it's supposed to start in Pittsburgh around 6 p.m. on Sunday, go all day. Saturday, Monday. Go all day Sunday.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing about weather like this. So if the forecaster is right and we get 3 feet of snow,
right?
He warned you.
Yeah.
You really don't care if you don't get it because you're like,
it's the
we dodged the bullet
deniability.
there.
Yes, it's COVID. Well, can you imagine how sick you would have gotten if you hadn't gotten the shot, right? Well, how's that even remotely demonstrable?
You know who loves these storms and these predictions?
Huh?
My buddy Andy.
Oh, is that right?
Because everybody prepares. The guy behind Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody prepares.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's going to be a fun weekend. He'll sell out of salt, snow blowers, all of it.
But you know what I was thinking about him on the way in? For every season that he has with one of these, there's another one or two where you get scammed. Oh. And so you can't count on it. You can't count on it that you're going to be a hardware store guy and you're going to have all these bags of salt because they didn't need them last year.
Listen, and when you
warming,
say that,
obviously.
It's a difference of 6 figures.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's huge.
I mean, it's substantial.
100%.
You guys, when we brought Sniper on,
you saved them.
You saved them.
You guys saved that company. What'd you say?
You guys did.
Yeah.
You guys who purchased from them. That's what small businesses is, you know.
I'm wearing my comfortable stuff today. Newsmax isn't covering this anymore, which is fine. But I get to wear what I want to wear, so everybody can.
Yeah, I haven't seen
the
CNN suck shirt yet.
Oh, son of a gun! You're right.
Remember remember when you wore it and they're like, you can't wear that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, this is not going to be a good union at all. So anyway, how is everybody?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
How is everybody? Yeah, we got a couple arrests we need to talk to you guys about. Oh,
let me warn you guys. And a lot of you will like this. Wendy is fussy this morning.
I don't see how that's helpful at all. Would you please see how you take joy in that? It's a very uncomfortable thing because
so much can come out. You don't want to miss it. This is why you don't miss the beginning of the show.
You're building something that could be a complete goose egg. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I can tell you I'm very disappointed and I'm angry at a lot of things. And I hate feeling like this. I wish I could just be one of those people who's completely apolitical, who doesn't pay attention to it, isn't really involved in it at all, doesn't get the paper, isn't watching the news, doesn't really give a rip. Life is life. And it's like what it is. Like I envy that person. I would probably hate it, but I don't know. Maybe there's great peace there because I'm not feeling great peace today. But Trump did kick some serious ass at Davos.
Love that they're all just called him, Rubio, Bessent, your boy.
Jared Kushner did a great job.
With your Howard Lutnick, all just going, no. We're done.
Yeah. And
we're done.
Trump completely stole the show. He totally took over the program. They brought their own backgrounds. We had all of this stuff. Here's the Board of Peace. Here's all this stuff. Here's what the United States is talking about. Oh, can we use your projector? Thanks. Hey, Earl.
Get the audiovisual guy in here. Yeah.
Right? And then you're like, what?
But why is that? He can't get an escalator to work at the UN. You can't trust these people to put up what you want put up. You have to have your own people.
I don't disagree.
Love that he calls them out.
I'm going to talk to you quickly about Ireland contracting because I can. I usually talk about them later in the program. You know, when you find people that you trust, you hold on to them and you share them sparingly with people because you don't want everybody to know about the good secret that you have. And if your secret is Ireland Contracting here in Pittsburgh, this is a beautiful family-run home exterior renovation outfit. And they've been doing this together for years and years. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. You can trust them. Exterior stuff, roofing, siding, soffit, fascia gutters, windows, downspouts, all of it. They do it. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. You will not be disappointed. That is the greatest thing I can tell you today. Maybe somebody won't disappoint you. IrelandContracting.com. How about that?
And they're fun.
They're awesome.
They're just fun people.
They're awesome to drink with.
Yeah, they're fun people.
I've heard. Oh, dear Lord, what are we walking into here?
Let's get ready to rumble.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Well, hello, America. Good afternoon to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain, and welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. Common sense conservatism delivered by a mom who knows a thing or two about the news business. We've been doing this for a while, radio for several years. Television is my background, but I really enjoy this time that we get to spend together because I think you get to hear the truth. And I get to communicate with you live stream here on our program, wendybellradio.com. Hey, if you haven't gotten the app, if you haven't downloaded it onto your device, and you haven't joined our live video stream, please do, because I think there's a difference when somebody talks to you and looks at you in the eye. And I want to talk about that today. We're going to talk about Davos. We're going to talk about what happened yesterday, about Greenland, about the Arctic. We're going to talk about all sorts of things. We're going to talk about what's happening in Minneapolis, new fraud in Maine, like it's never ending. But I'm going to speak directly to you today, as we do every day. And I hope you keep coming back because I love that you're a part of my family, a part of my life. Thank you. And welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. You know, the Pledge of Allegiance isn't some gimmick to me. And there's a reason why it's the very first thing that I say to you every day. And it started several years ago, like 5 years ago, when Jerry Nadler made a fuss in the House about saying the pledge in a committee meeting after the full House had already said the pledge. Didn't think it was necessary, and it really rankled me. And so we got everybody in the building into the studio that day, and we all together said the Pledge of Allegiance. Look, I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you live or how you vote. That pledge is like a common blood that should flow among all of us, not just in me, not just in certain people, but it's you. And there are people out there in this country who not only don't care about those words, they prove to us every day that they don't care about us. And that's why I'm so annoyed today. I say it to Brock in the morning. I'm like, I'm fussy. It makes me very uncomfortable when I'm fussy because there's something going on, and how is it going to bubble out of my mouth? Am I going to be pleased with the message I share with you? Well, this is my message, okay? And I'm so tired of being lied to. I'm so tired specifically, and I'm gonna nail it. I'm so tired of television. I'm so disappointed. And I'm really struggling, like I'm going through a midlife crisis, walking away from this field. And I've walked away from it before. I was forced to, and I came back, and I realize, and it's hard that when you, something that you really cared about, that you love doing, and I love doing it because I got to look into a camera and look into hundreds of thousands of people's eyes. I didn't see them. They saw me. And every night, no matter how horrible the news was, I was there delivering it to the best of my ability. And I cared passionately about that. And then one day, I realized that it had all changed, or that it was always upside down, and I was just too busy to pay attention to it. These people who make a lot of money, and they sit on a news set, and they talk to you, they don't tell you the truth. I don't believe. They are biased. And I have to ask them, do you love America? Do you understand what we're doing together? See, it's not about one side or the other winning. It is about America winning. It is that feeling you're supposed to have at the ballpark when you take off your cap and you put down your beer and you put your hand over your heart, right? Maybe you sing, maybe you say something. You're united with people. We are the United States of America. And we have people in Gavin Newsom and others who've gone halfway around the world to tell the rest of the planet that America sucks, that our president is a phony, that he's an egoist. And I am so tired of it. I'm tired of the news every single night hammering home the same garbage messages. And I am furious that 2 New York City police detectives who were injured, who went to the hospital not that long ago in Manhattan to receive treatment, were scoffed at and basically spat upon by the hospital staff because they thought those detectives were ICE agents. In what world is this okay? Because it's not. And everybody knows better. And the people who sit there and rake in all of the money and put on their makeup and act like they freaking matter, and I was one for years. Do they ever make you feel that they love America? Do they ever make you feel that they hear you, that they see you, that they care about you, that they care about the truth, that they care about this country? Because I don't get that vibe. And it makes me angry. And I'm closing the door on something I thought I was going to love for the rest of my life. And I realized it changed. Or maybe I did. Maybe I'm foolish. Maybe I'm stupid every single day to print out and put out at your fingertips a complete rundown of everything I say. If you so chose, you could rip it off and go do whatever you wanted to do with it. But you know what? I want you to be here. I want you to hear me, but I want you to watch. I want you to sit down and I want you to watch me talk to you, because I don't lie and I do love this country, and I'll call a spade, and I hate phonies, and I hate everybody who goes after this president whose biggest sin was loving America more than anything else. And in Washington, D.C., that's dangerous. I want my country back. I want all the scoundrels in the Senate and the losers in the House who are frauds, who are imposters, who pretend for clicks, who showcase themselves, but who don't show up for the votes, who don't do what's good for America, and who know better, who sell you and me out every damn day. I want them gone. I want the people who've ripped us off, I want them handcuffed. I want everything they own to be liquidated and returned to a pot of money to pay down our debt or to do something meaningful. I don't know. Maybe treat our homeless veterans with an iota of the respect and the pandering that the Democrat Party has given to millions of illegals who broke the law to get here. They didn't fight for us. They came here to sponge from us, and they walk over the homeless people who served and who got destroyed and scrambled, and they feel as though they are entitled. How freaking dare you? And anybody on the left and anybody in the media, I know that was redundant, who doesn't tell you the truth about what is going on is a clear and present danger, I believe, to the security of this country and to the safety of my children. And that, at the end of the day, is what it's all about. Look, I told my children many, many years ago, boys, you're part of something. It's not just a family. You are part of a herd. You look after each other. You fight for each other. You support one another, and you keep secrets about this herd to yourselves. America is the greatest herd I've ever been a part of. But you know what? We've been pulling a lot of dead weight along with us. We've been letting a lot of people get away with a lot of stuff. And I'm done. So my final message to all the talking heads out there who are desperate for you to pay attention to them. Why would we? How many more times are they going to lie to you? How many more times are they going to tell you something that's going on that isn't? I'm glad you're a part of mine, herd, that is. Because I will never, ever tell you wrong. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program. All right, let's talk about it. Trump did in Davos what 77 million of us voted for. He stood up, unlike Barack Obama, whose word number one when he became president 1,000 years ago was to apologize for the extraordinary nature of the American way, right? Donald Trump stood up and he's like, look, globalists, y'all are done. It is America first, America always. You choose. Are you in or are you out? Oh boy. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I'm telling you, after that, I need a little something, something. You know, I felt like I needed some CBD today. I was like, oh my gosh, my little watch, my little Garmin. It has all sorts of capabilities that I don't know about. I never read the directions, but
what do you do?
But it'll go, and I'll be like, ooh, what's that? And it's like, your stress is high. You need to calm down. And sometimes I'm just like sitting here. And I'm like, really? So I was like, I'm going to go do something. I need to take something. CB Distillery. CB Distillery has such great products for you. And it's nice to have an option that's not connected to pharma. It's not connected to some hardcore narcotic that you're going to possibly become dependent on. Look, I had way too much fun with Percocet after I had a C-section. My hands were shaking when I took the last one. And I told my husband, I'm like, yo, these things aren't good for me. And he's like, no, let's come up with other ways. CB Distillery, pain relief, ease with stress, and sleep. Boom. All three, 25% off right now, multiple formulations. I like this company. I trust this company. And I know you can too. 25% off if you use my name, Wendy, at checkout, cbdistillery.com. A number one. These are my people. Though sometimes I feel like there's nothing that a giant IPA can't fix. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, it is afternoon after all.
I had dots delivered to my house by the time I got home yesterday.
You did not.
I did.
I've never done that.
I did. I called
Was that
Kate.
Walmart?
No, I called. We have this little place right up the street from us you can order from.
That's fantastic.
And if you are a member, it's like 15 minutes. And I called Kate and I'm like, can you have me some dots delivered?
That is a good wife right there.
Yeah. So I waited and waited and waited for an hour and a half and was like,
so what time was that? Like 3?
I waited till 4:30.
No, we're here at 3. You waited till that's good. It was dark out yesterday. Like
it was crappy.
I was running some errands and I buzzed him in the car and I was like, oh my gosh, it's literally dark. It was 4:00. I'm like, it's dark and it's just black. And then this storm. I'm kind of excited about it, right? It's not exciting when you have to be up early and do something.
I have a bag of salt in my car for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But it's still hopefully that we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think it's hilarious that people run out and go buy bread. Like they all of a sudden have to make a grilled cheese if there's a blizzard. Like, I gotta have one. Let's go.
Here's the crazy thing. I'm shocked that there's going to be snow because I have my snowblower worked on.
Oh, that's right.
Fixed.
Right. It never happens that way.
Yeah.
Honey, where's the snowblower?
I hadn't used it in 2 years.
It's over
last
at
time
Andy's.
it was tuned
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
It's over there. Oh, good. Okay, guys.
Here we go.
That in the Catholic Church, right? Open up the floodgates. It'll be a great idea. Like everything these people talk about sucks. And so I'm like, windmills for everybody. Let's go drill in the ocean. Why are all the mammals dying? I don't know. Must be global warming. Or it's in the ocean floor. Just saying, right? Trump goes over there and he drops a bomb. He pulls the pin out of the grenade and he's like this. He's like, yeah, all of you globalists, elitists, all of you imperialists, all of you people, right? All of you related to the Rothschilds, right? We're not doing that anymore. We're doing something different in America, and it's called common sense. We're going to do great stuff. We're going to raise money. We're going to bring in money. We're going to make you guys treat us fairly. And basically, you can either be with us or you can be against us, one or the other. Are you in or are you out? Because the way we see it, Donald Trump said yesterday, is there is room for everybody to be extraordinarily happy, wealthy, and joyful. And we can do it together. We're going to carve out the bureaucracy of all the crap that doesn't get done. Bunch of blowhards walking around, flying around on their private jets, finger wagging you and your footprint, right? Yeah, no more. I have found a great, actually, Brock found it, sent it to me this morning. Great takedown. I think you did, Brock. This is Rob Finnerty over at Newsmax. He's one of the few you can trust who I really, really enjoy. Love this guy. And he straight shoots this and he breaks it down beautifully. And he's like, look, Trump got a room full of Europeans to talk about Greenland and not Ukraine, to talk about what Trump wants to do in the Arctic and not anything that's happening in Europe. Trump did that. And he did it by walking on the stage and sucking the oxygen out of the room.
And Donald Trump delivered a speech today that we have simply never seen from an American president at an event like this. Donald Trump said everything that you would say if you were on that stage today. Donald Trump said what 77 million people elected him to say.
In recent decades, it became conventional wisdom in Washington and European capitals that the only way to grow a modern Western economy was through ever-increasing government spending, unchecked mass migration, and endless foreign imports. Countries could be propped up by importing new and entirely different populations from faraway lands. Instead of closing down energy plants, we're opening them up. Instead of building ineffective, money-losing windmills, we're taking them down and not approving any. Instead of empowering bureaucrats, we're firing them.
And while the president was saying all of that to a room full of people who desperately wish that Joe Biden was still president, don't forget about Gavin Newsom. All alone, standing in the back by the handicapped bathroom in the coat check. Gavin Newsom was there for all this. It's also interesting that Greenland was the most important issue in a room full of European leaders. Greenland and not Ukraine. Again, Greenland, not Ukraine. Ukraine and a war that's been raging for the last 4 years, just a few hundred miles from where the president was speaking. A war that's already taken over 1 million lives. A war with a country that is now threatening to use nuclear weapons. A war that has cost the U.S. hundreds of billions of dollars, the deadliest war in Europe since Hitler. With all of that money that the U.S. has spent in Ukraine, we could literally buy Greenland twice. But European leaders were more concerned about what Donald Trump was going to say about an island covered in ice with 50,000 people that nobody cared about like 10 minutes ago than they did about Ukraine. Does that make any sense?
Yes, to those of us paying attention, to those of us who saw him come down that escalator in 2015, who were like, oh my gosh, finally somebody who's not connected to the filth. Yes, it makes sense. And he continues with this. Donald Trump exposed in 10 minutes what really matters to Europe's ruling class.
Europe desperately wants the U.S. to send troops to Ukraine, but not to Greenland, to protect Europe. Think about that. It also says a lot about what really matters to the ruling class in Europe, that after 4 years of fighting a proxy war with the largest nuclear power on Earth, they don't really want the war to end now, do they? Ukraine, which isn't even a NATO country and probably never will be. But Donald Trump said what Joe Biden never would today about ending the war in Ukraine.
I believe they're at a point now where they can come together and get a deal done. And if they don't, they're stupid. That goes for both of them. And I know they're not stupid. But if they don't get this done, they are stupid. So I don't want to insult anyone, but you got to get this deal done. Too many people are dying. It's not worth it.
Absolutely correct. You know, and every night since that war with Ukraine and Russia broke out, your media have lied to you. They've lied to you about all of it, about why it happened. Trump is, or rather Putin is this. Zelensky's a hero. Everybody rushed over to his side. You had members of Congress, Republicans, flying over during an active war with freaking Russia for the photo op with Time Magazine and Vladimir Zelensky. And they thought we didn't understand what was going on. Ladies and gentlemen, my governor here in Pennsylvania signed his name on missiles gleefully that we're going to be going over to Europe to kill people. Okay? If we all don't understand what war is, it's just like COVID. It's just like Act Blue. It's just like USAID, ladies and gentlemen, except people die. And they're okay with it. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, the sights, the sounds of Donald Trump absolutely killing it in Switzerland and what he got next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
Okay. For those that say, I never say anything nice about Wendy, that monologue is why I left a job, why I got fired from a job, and why I jumped off a cliff with her to do all of this. When in my mind, when I heard, F it, let's do it ourselves, my head went, yeah. My mind went, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I'm just that dumb enough to not.
That monologue is why.
Okay. Let's go. That was very nice of you to say, but I'll have to go back and listen to it.
No.
Why?
Because you'll criticize.
I will. I know.
So don't.
I can't go back.
I'm talking from you had me as a listener, and I've said this multiple times. when you sit in this seat, you don't really listen. You hear, but you don't listen. It's like when your spouse is nagging you. You hear what they're saying. You're not really listening. You're kind of like thinking, okay, well, I got to do this. I got to do that. They're nagging, whatever. You had me as a listener.
Do you know what I gave Mary Beth this morning?
A coat?
So my 64-year-old pickleball phenom personal trainer who's a badass, I gave her some Blood Flow 7. She's really high intensity. What?
Was it my Blood Flow 7?
No, our new subscription hasn't come yet. I think it's I don't know when it is. We'll have to make sure. Anyway, I gave it to her and I'm like, look, I want you to try this. This is going to take, because she's noticed that my stamina and my ability, like for me to bench press, 22 and a half in a hand, that's a lot for me. That's a lot for me. It's a lot. I have chicken arms, right? And she's just kicking everything up and she's like, you're really doing well. I'm like, Blood Flow 7. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's Blood Flow 7. It's got nitric oxide. She looked at it and she's like, oh, these are some good ingredients. I'm like, she said, so you really feel the def? I said 3 hours, give it 3 hours. Okay. And then take it consistently for a week and talk to me. The next day she'll be like, what is this? I must have more. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. It is without question the best thing I take for stamina, for focus, for strength. And you notice it with stupid stuff. So there's a hill in your neighborhood and you normally huff and puff up the hill and you're like, right? And on this, you're like, do. Oh my, I'm not huffing and puffing. It's wild. I'm just telling you. Imagine how you're going to feel in your everyday life. You're going to be a laundry phenom. You're going to clean, you're going to cook, and you're going to write me. And you're going to be like, damn you, Wendy. I've been so productive. And then you're going to sleep like a boulder. Okay. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. While you're there, pay close attention to the Alpha Gold Male. This is the one for men. If your strength, energy, or drive has slipped, it's not a mindset issue. It is your physiology. As men age, testosterone signaling, mitochondrial energy, and recovery decline. And that means weaker workouts, slower muscle repair, low motivation, and poor sleep. Or you just feel like a general turd, right? You don't have to be hitting the gym every day, hitting the heavy bag to be like, right? You feel it every day. Alpha Gold Male. And then they also have something else, which I'm also taking. I'm going to start it here. It's the Peak NAD Plus. This is for recovery after exercise. And this has all things to do with this coenzymatic reaction and all that. All I know is this gets down into the cellular level and it talks to your cells and the mitochondria. And it's like, hey, wake up. We need you. Let's get going. And your recovery after exercise is accelerated. So it's the ultimate 1-2 punch. Blood Flow 7 with NAD Plus, Alpha Gold Male, NAD Plus. And then you're like, wait a minute, I actually am in control of this. I feel good. I feel strong. I feel able. I'm not feeble all the time, right? Try it. Bloodflow7.com/Wendy. I really like this company and they really like you. They're throwing some other stuff at us. And I'm very excited to be introducing other things to you next week from them. Super excited about them. Gotten some questions about this ivermectin company. And I wrote back to them. Brock got his. They send it from India. They're in India. And their thing is because the majority of the world's ivermectin is made in India. And they're right there. They can undercut everybody in the States. And so some companies charge $3 a tablet. They charge $1. However, it comes in the mail. It's not like there's a pamphlet like use if you've got these symptoms. There's no medical advice whatsoever. This would be for people who simply know the value of having ivermectin or want to have it on standby. And I think I'm going to do it with them for a month. I think we're going to do it starting in February. We're going to start that and give you the access to it, right? This, again, this isn't like some high polished machine. It is undercutting everybody else on ivermectin to your door. It's nondescript, right, Brock?
Yes, very nondescript. I didn't know what it was, and I was expecting.
Very nondescript. And so I'm on the fence here. I'm like, well, do I want bells and whistles for more money, or do we want just access to ivermectin? The company name comes in clean. They're super excited. They've been very consistent with me. I'm thinking we're going to give it a go for a month. And then you guys decide what you want to do. I'm going to get it. I want to have it. Anyway, my rambling is over for now.
For another 10 seconds.
That's what I... Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program, wendybellradio.com. Again, please join us in the live video stream. It's kind of a risk. We do the whole 3 hours live on the air, on video here on the internet. So we invite you to join in the conversation because we interact with you in the commercial breaks. It's great to see where you're from and what you're thinking about, what's going on where you are. So let's talk about it. Davos, Switzerland. It's a place I've never been. But I can say that only Donald Trump could make a deal for Greenland and get the entire Arctic as the cherry on top. That's exactly what he did yesterday. It's sort of like, of course, right? You know, and it's one of these things where you don't know what you can get until you make a pledge for it, until you make a play, until you make an offer. And if we're being honest about how Donald Trump does business, he goes totally outlandishly to the deep end of what he wants, right? I want everything in the world when what he really wants is just this slice of it. But he's going to go for that so that he's got lots of room to negotiate with you. And then what ends up happening is he gets the whole enchilada. That's what happened yesterday. It's wild. So I want to open this up. Trump strikes framework for a deal on Greenland, Arctic, and drops threat of tariff on Europe. This is the Washington Times. President Trump said Wednesday that he struck a framework for a deal on Greenland and the Arctic after a productive conversation with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, prompting him to drop military and trade threats against Europe. Like everybody thought he was going to go in there like a freaking hurricane. He's going to be like, you're going to pay and you're going to pay. And he just says, you know, we really think it's smart that we should have Greenland. Here's the benefit. This is what we plan to do with it. We're going to build this dome. It's going to be a missile defense system. It's going to be outrageously successful. Anybody underneath it, hi Canada, anybody who's protected by it isn't going to have to worry about some existential threats that have always, plagued us, right? Oh no. He's like, look, this is good for everybody. And if you join us, and I don't have to tariff all your stuff. And people were like, okay, what else are we doing? And that was like at 10:04. It's a long-term deal, Mr. Trump said here in this article. It's the ultimate long-term deal. It puts everybody in a really good position, especially as it pertains to security, Trump told reporters at the World Economic Forum. The president did not say whether the deal would grant U.S. ownership of Denmark-controlled Greenland or simply increase American leverage over the massive island. Framework for a deal was enough for Mr. Trump to back off of his threat to impose tariffs on 8 European nations that had opposed his annexation plan. And dropping the tariff threat was a significant olive branch to the leaders in Davos. See, and this is the funny part about the left. If they don't understand what he does, they're just stupid. Tariffs are leverage. And he's got the historical precedent behind him to say, look, there's no reason we should pay for everybody's pharmaceutical stuff. We should pay the fair share, lower it to the most favored nations clause. Hey, United Nations, there's no reason we should be paying for everybody's security. How about everybody pays in? Hey, all of these, hey, NATO, same story. And then lo and behold, they're like, yeah, you're right. And then it happens. It's got to piss off the left so much. Let's listen to Donald Trump. He's on with CNBC's Joe Kernan yesterday. This is right after all of this happened, and Joe Kernan's there live in Davos. This is their minute 45 together. I think it's invaluable.
Well, we have a concept of a deal. I think it's going to be a very good deal for the United States, also for them. And we're going to work together on something having to do with the Arctic as a whole, but also Greenland, and it has to do with the security, great security, strong security, and other things. The market, 600 points, getting back a lot of some of the nervousness we had in the last couple of days. The tariffs are off. Nothing happens on February 1st. No, we took that off because it looks like we have pretty much a concept of a deal. A deal of ownership, a deal? Well, it's a little bit complex, but we'll explain it down the line. But the Secretary General of NATO and I and some other people were talking, and it's the kind of a deal that I wanted to be able to make. Where does Denmark, did they weigh in on what they want, what they would agree to? Well, I assume they did because he very much represents, he's a strong leader, Mark, Ruta. And he, I assume he's been speaking to them. He's been speaking to all of them.
Are mineral rights involved? Is ownership involved? Did the Golden Dome sway people?
I don't want to say yet, but
the Golden Dome was very compelling today when you talked about that.
Yeah, the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in mineral rights, and so are we.
It's not specific enough to know at this point how long this lasts, whether it's
forever.
Forever.
It'll be forever.
For Greenland at this point.
Yeah. Forever.
That's staggering.
That's better than a 99.
This is what, 2 hours after.
It's better than the Obama deal with the famous Iran nuclear deal with a 9-year deal. No, this is forever. This is a long term.
And then it was lunchtime, right? And he's like, okay, thank you very much. Peace out. Like, honestly, he comes in totally like a tornado and he sucks that oxygen and everyone's like, and then he stands up there very calmly. Of course, I think the news babes at CNN would probably say he had low energy, right? But he just tells you the way it is. In or out? In, out. You choose. Here's Mark Ruta. He is the Secretary General of NATO. He says something very interesting. He's like, look, I know this isn't going to be popular with you because I'm supporting what President Trump is doing. Isn't it a shame? But it's true. Everybody recognizes the elites, the globalists. Uh-oh.
I'm not popular with you now because I'm defending Donald Trump, but I really believe we can be happy that he is there because he has forced us in Europe to step up, to face the consequences, that we have to take care more of our own defense. And here's my question to the audience. I mean, many of you, I know, criticize Donald Trump. But do you really think that without Donald Trump, 8 big economies in Europe, including Spain and Italy and Belgium, Canada, by the way, also outside Europe, would have come to 2% in 2025 when they were only on 1.5% at the beginning of the year? No way. Without Donald Trump, this would never have happened. They're all on 2% now. Do you really think that in the summit in The Hague, as already Alex was saying, the president of Finland was saying, that we would come to an overall defense spending of 5%, including 3.5% in core defense, if President Trump would not have been re-elected as president of the United States? No way. It would never have happened. So again, I'm not popular with you now because I'm defending Donald Trump, but I really believe we can be happy that he is there because he has forced us in Europe to step up, to face the consequences, that we have to take care more of our own defense.
100%. And what a wild statement. I know it's going to be unpopular with you because I'm taking his side. But the dude knows what he's talking about, and everything that you idiots are doing hasn't worked. Time for a reset. Here's Byron York. Here's Byron York. He's on with Brett Baer. Byron is he's talking as a commentator for Fox. And he's like, look, this whole deal, how it went down, the speed with which it happened, it's textbook classic Donald Trump.
About it, and I have to say, this was kind of classic Trump, wasn't it? I mean, Trump wants something, and then he asks for 10 times that, and the other side flips out. And they go back and forth and go back and forth. It becomes a huge news story. Finally, they make an offer. He agrees to it. And it's kind of what they could have gotten in the first place.
And says they're wonderful people and happy to work with them. And suddenly it's this dismount that we could predict by how it's set up at the beginning.
Yes, and the other side's happy because they think they dodged a bullet. So it's just classic Trump.
Yeah.
Classic Trump. And I don't know if he holds grudges or not, but remember when he called Marco Rubio, without question, the greatest Secretary of State ever, right? I mean, he's a golden star. And he called him Little Marco. I mean, like, right? And now they're working side by side, completely rewriting the future of the planet. This isn't just America, right? And this is what's great about Trump. He's like, look, we have the technology, right? We understand how to drill through all of this. We know how to get to what you need to get. And that's all of the rare earths that are there. Why don't we do this? And why doesn't everybody benefit? There is abundant supply. We don't have to go in there and hoard it. We don't want to steal it. We should be able to do this together to the mutual benefit of everybody. Now, who's going to say no to that, right? This is what he did with Venezuela. They're like, oh, all he wants is the oil, where the oil is leverage, right? The same way tariffs on these countries, threats. I will punitively assess you if you don't want to join this, right? How about this from Trey Yangst? He says, look, Trump floats this idea of replacing the United Nations with his Board of Peace. And we're going to talk about this Board of Peace. Not only did he go in, look for Greenland, get it, and be given basic control of the Arctic, he also goes in and he's like, look, the United Nations doesn't work. NATO isn't working. How about we reimagine this? And we're going to with this Board of Peace. Listen.
The Board of Peace signing ceremony is set to take place on Thursday morning in Davos. More countries are weighing in, greenlighting their participation, including Israel. The office of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a statement today on X saying, quote, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced that he accepts the invitation of U.S. President Donald Trump and will become a member of the Board of Peace, which is to be comprised of world leaders. President Trump has floated the idea of replacing the UN entirely with his board.
Do you want your Board of Peace to replace the UN?
Well, it might. I mean, the UN just hasn't been very helpful. I'm a big fan of the UN potential, but it has never lived up to its potential. The UN should have settled every one of the wars that I settled.
100%. And people are like, well, it's not yet settled. There's still stuff going on. They're still firing at each other. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what could he do? Honestly, what could he do to satisfy those on the left who never want to realize that we voted for this? 77 million, by the way. How about this? This is from Vladimir Putin. He's like, look, the president has offered me a seat at the table of this Board of Peace. I accept, and I'm going to give my $1 billion because he is very interested in helping the people, the Palestinians, find a place to be and live and help rebuild Gaza. Listen.
Considering Russia's special relations with the Palestinian people, I think that we could contribute $1 billion to the Board of Peace from the frozen assets assets frozen by the previous administration, and the remaining funds from the funds frozen in the United States could be used to rebuild territories that suffered during hostilities. Once we sign a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, we're discussing this with the representatives of the U.S. administration, and I hope that we will be able to discuss all these matters with President of Palestine Mahmoud Abbas, as well as with the American representatives, with Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, who will be arriving in Moscow tomorrow to continue our dialogue on the Ukraine settlement.
He says once we reach a peace deal, it's already done, right? They already know. This is the next big one to drop. Now, let's talk about Trump doesn't just go in there and he doesn't just rewrite history there. He gets 23 countries to cough up $1 billion and join him on the Board of Peace. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to go back in time. We're going to look into how long Democrats have known that rampant, unrestricted migration is absolutely horrible, particularly for America's poor. And they've pushed it for years. Anyway, this will make you mad. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Oh my. I like all of that sound. I really liked that whole segment. Like, I mean, we don't need to know the specifics. How long is it going to be for? Okay, no. Are we going to build something? We're going to build something. This is why we need a huge influx in defense spending. But if we can dial back all of the fraud, I don't know, maybe it becomes a little bit more affordable.
Well, you got to love what Putin said, what Trump got out of him. We're going to take the money that we've seized. We're telling you the only way you can see this money again is to give it to us. If that's not negotiating, and for all the liberals out there, you know, says, oh, he just wants oil, and you said it's for negotiations and leverage. Listen, you've done contracts before. If you have something someone else wants, you use it. If you have great numbers in TV, you use it when it comes to contract time, period. It's simple.
If you have parasites, you want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's simple.
100%.
I've often wondered, right? I've wondered, am I one of those weird people who had bad pork and there's like tapeworms going around in my gut? Have you ever seen videos? It's fascinating. It's disgusting. It's mortifying. I'm not thinking they're talking about worms, but other things. The big medical hack of 2025 was several peer-revealed or reviewed studies identifying the direct connections between anti-parasitic medications having off-label benefits, fighting a wide variety of cancers. You know what I'm talking about. Ivermectin. Well, the wellness company's proprietary USA compounded ivermectin and mebendazole is a doctor-prescribed gold standard combination dose of a literal ultimate parasite cleanse. You take it, flush the stuff out of your system, right? It's designed to help the body eliminate parasites, plus other incredible benefits. Each bottle contains 90 capsules. It's enough to complete 4 21-day cleanses. So apparently that's what it is. This high-strength formula cannot be found at your local pharmacy, but the wellness company removes the red tape by making the process fully digital. You go online, twc.health/Wendy, fill out a quick intake form, a doctor reviews it, your medical-grade parasite cleanse arrives in about a week. Okay? So a lot of people who suffer from parasitic infections, they go undetected and undiagnosed, and you feel terrible. This is something meant to stop that. You're going to save 10% off if you use my name at checkout. Again, free shipping to you. TWC, the wellness company, .health/Wendy. My name gets you that extra 10% off. I think it's valuable. 21 days, they say. Get the stuff out of your system and don't rely on it to come from China, because that's not where it's coming from. It's coming from the wellness company, and they are Canucks. I was talking to them yesterday, or we're talking to Rumble yesterday, and all of our people are in Canada. And I love how many times my friend David would say, "Eh?" And I'm like, "Aw, why is your prime minister such a horse's ass?" Other than that, I had nothing. How's everybody? Let's see. I have some fussy stories coming up. You're not going to like them. All right, where are we doing? 186. What'd you say?
Cliff.
Uncle Cliff, yes.
Gotta love him. Does his homework.
Uncle Cliff is an uneducated felon.
Who
seems
uneducated.
pretty damn...
Not uneducated.
Pretty
he
damn
educates himself.
You know what? He's not classically educated.
Yeah,
I say. Never went to school. Well, you got some common sense, bro. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. I want to read this to you before I Scooby on. I got a little long in the last segment. So President Trump has said, you know what, we're going to create this board of peace. We're not going to have wars. We're going to have peace. And basically, we're going to band together. And as we band together, we're going to pool resources. Everybody's going to pitch in $1 billion. And we're going to create this thing that basically bullies everybody else who wants to create war, who wants to do bad things. Yeah, you probably don't want to do that. See, we're tired of people dying, and we want people to live. And it's going to start in Russia. It's going to start with Ukraine. So these are the countries, the member countries. No third world countries that I saw have been offered. Of course, they're not really able to contribute fiscally. So, and that's where a lot of wars are. So members of this board of peace: United States, Albania, Argentina, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Egypt, Hungary, Indonesia, Israel, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kosovo, Kuwait, Morocco, Pakistan, Paraguay, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, UAE, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam. Now, some of these are people that he's gone to, right? They rolled out the camels and the red carpets for him. These are the people he's been talking to. They've been having summits. He's been making these overtures. This is not some rando thing. This is the behind the scenes of what's been going on. The following states and organizations have been invited. There's a bunch. Australia, they haven't said yes yet. Australia, Austria, Bahrain, all these others. And those that have declined, this is more important. Those that said absolutely no. Oh, Emmanuel Macron, butthurt. France, Germany, Italy, Norway, Slovenia, Sweden, and the UK. Surprised by Italy. We'll see what happens. They might come along. Okay, Uncle Cliff. For those of you who don't know Uncle Cliff, and I don't know Uncle Cliff, but I love me some Uncle Cliff. This looks like a middle-aged black guy who always is smoking in his videos, always standing outside wearing a cap, right? And he identifies himself in last videos as being a felon. He didn't go to college, probably didn't get his GED, but you know what he's got? He's got common sense, and all of this doesn't add up. So he did some snooping, and he's like, look, these are the details on how illegal immigration's dangers to America's poor working class have been known for generations. And the Democratic Party sat on it. Listen.
Man, check it out. Your feelings. Just watch.
We talked about how the Democrats opened the borders in 1965. But the real betrayal happened in 1994. Because that's the year a black woman tried to warn them. And they silenced her. Her name was Barbara Jordan, a civil rights icon and the first Southern black woman elected to the House of Representatives. She wasn't a Republican. She was a Democrat royalty. President Bill Clinton appointed her to lead the U.S. Commission on Immigration Reform. Her job was to look at the data and answer one question. Is immigration good for the average American worker? The Democrats expected her to say yes. But Barbara was honest. She looked at the numbers and she saw the truth. She released a report that shocked Washington. She concluded that low-skilled immigration was directly hurting the most vulnerable Americans. She said, immigration policy must put the interests of the American worker first. She recommended cutting legal immigration by a third and cracking down on illegal labor. So, what did the Democrats do? Did they listen to this black woman that they appointed? No. Barbara Jordan died in 1996. And the moment she was gone, Bill Clinton buried her report. Instead of cutting immigration, they expanded it.
Facts is facts. Go look that up. Your feelings. If it wasn't for the Democrats, we wouldn't be in this. If you ain't supposed to be here, you gotta go. We knew this was gonna be a problem.
100%. Democrats are all about this. This is what they champion. This is what they did. And the feckless Republicans who let them do it because they have no spine. Because like the United Nations, like the World Health Organization, like NATO, it's a bunch of emasculated boobs walking around pretending like they know what to do, who do nothing and just ask for more money and stand there and wag their manicured fingers at you. You know what? You can suck it. Brings me back to why I hate the media so much right now. These people lie to you every damn day. They lie to you about everything. They don't know how to tell the truth. And it's not working. And they're not changing. And it doesn't give me joy to say this, but to every youngster out there who's going to college, who wants to go to the School of Journalism and Mass Communications, what do you want to be, Kaylee? I want to be a news anchor and a reporter. Well, you probably don't want to do it the way you think you want to do it. Get a microphone, get a cause, and get digging. You can do it on your own, and you can do it better. When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, hour 2, you got to protect the herd. Gavin Newsom, what the hell are you doing in Switzerland when the Palisades still don't have homes? Next. Douche. Anywho, how's everybody? I told you I was going to be fussy. I'm sorry. So I, of course, like the conspiracy theorist that I am, look, I'm aware of my conspiracy theories and suspicions, but they usually end up being conspiracy facts. So I haven't seen a whole lot of things come back at me and be like, oh, about that. That was super, super wrong. Yeah, I'm not thinking. So I put in like, what year did civil rights activist Barbara Jordan die? Or why? Why did she die? Because couldn't you see them taking her out?
Went inside.
Right? Couldn't you see anybody who's around Hillary, for heaven's sakes, evaporates? It's not Bill. It's probably just Hillary. She's the devil. Sorry, that's me. Anyway, she had leukemia. She had leukemia and died in Austin, Texas. the age of 59. She also battled multiple sclerosis. She was in a wheelchair and still was able to do all this stuff. Amazing. Anywho, I want to talk to you guys about Take Lean. You know, I will say this, there does get to be this weird desperation with weight loss where you feel like there's nothing you're going to do that's going to move the needle. Like you've tried and you get on the scale. I remember when Joe would try to lose weight and he'd be so careful about what he would do and what he would eat and what he would drink. And literally for 4 days, he was on a plateau, same weight. So discouraging. And it's easy to be like, well, F it. Why am I doing this? Why am I starving myself or not enjoying the flavors of life? I don't want to be fat, but I also don't want to be depraved, right? That's where Take Lean comes into play. And I love it. Brickhouse Nutrition. Field of Greens. I remember getting an email from a gentleman who got Field of Greens for his wife who was going through chemotherapy, and her hair started growing back in, and he's like, oh my gosh, her hair is amazing. And I was like, I'm telling you, this company's legit. This Take Lean, though, it's like it's for significant weight loss. And it's billed as for people over the age of 40 who, I don't even know if it's that. I'm just going to presume it is, but it's for significant weight loss. It's not a couple pounds here and there. You know, it's not because you had a Permani sandwich and a beer and you're like, no, I got in a little fatty bobalatti and I could lose 30, 40, 50, 80 pounds. It's an oral supplement, dietary supplement. You know what it does? It crushes your cravings. It crushes your hunger. It does all of that. It's fantastic. And then it helps you lose the weight slowly. You know, I like slowly. I think so. I think slowly for that is smart. So then you don't have that, like, that face that you have, right? The Ozempic face. Just saying. People who lose a lot of weight quickly have that sallow, like, dragged skin look. Not this. TakeLean.com. Use my name, Wendy. You're going to get 20% off. I'm going to make sure that that's what it is because I always forget. It is 20% off. And I will give you their pitch line, even though I blabbered about it. It helps maintain healthy blood sugar, control appetite and craving, and convert your fat into energy, which I like. You can have all of my fat. TakeLean.com, promo code Wendy, 20%. Okay. So anyway, I wanted you guys to know about the ivermectin guy. And like, I don't know how it comes. Like I have to see how it comes because I think we got 20 pills, something like that. Yeah. And I'm interested in knowing what's a normal cycle. What do you normally take it for? I've always thought of ivermectin from what I've heard from America's frontline doctors, including Dr. McCullough and Dr. Gold and others, right? And Malone, that you take it every day and you could take it.
I heard once a week.
Preventively. And I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and give you guys medical advice, but if you're interested in ivermectin, I think you should be able to get it without being bent over for $5 a pill, right? Anywho, what's going on, Brock? How's everybody doing out there? Let's see.
I get in the habit of checking silver prices now.
Yes. Oh, good. You want to talk about it?
No, you can. It's up 96.56. I got it at 33.
What's gold?
Gold, according to Texas Bullion, is up 74 at 49.1150.
Wow. I was just looking at it. It's like it was 44. Not that long ago.
Mm-hmm. Brock's retiring on a gold or silver bar.
So the reality is, Texas Bullion Exchange, you guys, even just to start the conversation, you're like, I don't have money to buy gold. What are you talking about? Have you been outside? Have you paid any bills in the economy, even though things are coming down, et cetera, et cetera? Well, I get it, but having a conversation with somebody there is free, first of all, and they take a lot of the fear out of it. They teach you. It's so educational to find out, and then like it becomes almost addicting.
Well, I'm going to talk to them about getting a 401k. Mm-hmm. So it's money that's already saved. It's not like it's out of pocket.
Mm-hmm. Right. So if you have savings in that regard, how do you roll that into gold? Well, they'll talk to you about it. Which 855-927-5557. WendyLovesGold.com. I love them. I've bought from them twice. right? And we've got an expensive family, but it doesn't take that much. Brock's silver bar, they gave him for his birthday. I'm like, guys, I called them. I'm like, I really want to get, I think he'll think it's funny, but I really do want to give him some silver. And so I told them, I'm like, can I get a bar of it? And it was like $350. And they were like, we'll send him a bar. I'm like, no, send me the bar and then I'll wrap it up like I bought it for him. And then you're like, did you pay for that? I'm like, no, son of a Texas Bullion. Texas Bullion Exchange, wendylovesgold.com. Literally, they changed it to that landing page because I can't spell bullion. So they're like, we'll just make it Wendy Loves Gold. 2,000 rumbles. Thank you. Hey, hit the follow button. We need help with the follows. If you're new, follow. See what else is going on. Anything? Look we got some money. John giving me $2. Zeger's $10. Paul from Casey, Missouri says hello. Well, Paul, thank you. Thanks, John, giving me a little tip. Griffin Lady, $5. Please include a list of all the music you guys use for the show on Locals, including what you use for the Open. I want to create a Wendy Bell Radio playlist.
Here we go.
4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
All right, welcome to hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program. Common sense conservative values delivered by a mom. And, I wrote this down. I don't want to get too deep into the show before I forget. There were 2 pretty big arrests this morning. Nakima Levy-Armstrong, the founder of the Radical Justice Network, who was the lead invader of the city's church sanctuary back on last Sunday, as Don Lemming and she and others went in and terrified parishioners and screamed at them and got in their faces and swore at little kids and made them cry. Well, she's been arrested. Federal crime, 18 U.S. Code 241. Yeah, it's a federal crime to act with such poor decision-making abilities. Yes, schmuck. And then there's the St. Paul School Board member, Chantil Allen. Oh, she was arrested too. How do you like us now? You jags. You know better. You wouldn't in a million years go into a black church. Ladies, and you're both black women. I guarantee you wouldn't do it. Period. All right. Meantime, ... I have no idea why Gavin Newsom thinks it was within his purview to fly to Switzerland. On whose dime? No doubt Californians, because they're rolling in the dough there, not. So think of all the things going on in California. We could just focus on Southern California if you want. Talk about the Palisades. Nothing's been rebuilt. Homeowners aren't getting any answers. Federal government paved the way for them to rebuild in a matter of hours. It's been over a year. And they've gotten nothing. Not from their city and not from their governor. But Gavin Newsom flies over to Davos to make it about Gavin Newsom. This is where I say it's about the herd. You got to protect the herd. Look, I don't care if you hate President Trump, Gavin. He's going over to rep the USA. He put the flag in the sand in Davos and said, this is the new flag of the world. This is what things are going to be like. And Gavin Newsom went over there to bitch that he got the squeeze. He got 86th at the last minute to speak at something called USA House. So this is an actual structure in Davos that's kind of the United States now, just sort of was named this, their headquarters, their official headquarters of the World Economic Forum. This is where the people stay, and this is where they do stuff and they talk, et cetera, et cetera. Somebody there had invited Gavin Newsom to make some remarks. And then Gavin Newsom decided to say some stuff about President Trump in Davos before his scheduled presentation at this USA House. And they rescinded his invitation. Now, I'm sure Donald Trump had something to do with it. We really want to amplify this guy here. I want you to hear what he said, because Gavin Newsom is auditioning to be the Democrats' next Barack Obama. He wants to be their next shiny metal object, though I think his track record in California is a clear ruiner of that. This is what Gavin Newsom said on, I believe it was Tuesday, as the whole, World Economic Forum thing got started.
I was going to speak last night. It was a well-established event at the USA House. Simple conversation, discussion. After Trump's speech, they made sure that I didn't. They made sure it was canceled. And that's what's happening in the United States of America. Freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom of speech. It's America in reverse.
It is America in reverse 100%, he said. Well, really, it's not. It's not at all what's going on, Gavin. I was just distracted, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you this right now. Breaking, Brock just sent it to me. U.S. Justice Department charges journalist Don Lemon over storming that church during an anti-ICE protest. Of course, we've got our best people on it, and his name is Brock, and he's searching for more information. Let's move on to Gavin Newsom, number 2. Look, he says this. This is the lie that he says about Donald Trump. President Trump and this administration, they're banning books in America. They're silencing people. They're snatching them off the street. Well, the books that are banned are things that are completely gross, like Queer Like Me. I don't care if you're queer. I don't even know what that means, right? I just don't need my third grader learning about it in school. So we're not going to do that. You can take all of your books about oral sex and what have you, and you can flush them, because in our country, you're allowed to grow up slowly, and it's okay to be a child and not be bombarded by disgusting adults who want to make you into one of their perverted objects. Okay? Gavin Newsom, audio soundbite number 2.
They're censoring historical facts. They're rewriting history. They're censoring books, 4,340 books, libraries, and in schools, banned in the United States of America. You're watching institutions. Any institution of independent thinking is under assault and attack by the Trump administration. You're seeing what's playing out in the streets of American cities, what played out in California, the second largest city in the United States of America. 4,000 National Guard were federalized. 700 active duty Marines were not sent overseas. They were sent to my largest city in the state of California. Masked men.
Because you guys can't control the peace. You guys can't secure safety and life on the streets in California. So when the president feels like he needs to nationalize anything to do the job that you failed to do, that should be offensive. You're right, Mr. Governor there, but it should be offensive because it illuminates how much you suck. How about this one? The icing on top of all of this is that Gavin Newsom found it appropriate to mock the commander of the Border Patrol, Greg Bovino, by the way, who yesterday at a Minneapolis gas station was mobbed by a group of angry whack jobs, right? Ginned up by the likes of loser Don Lemon, and had chips, a bag of potato chips, thrown at him on his basic neck and shoulders, shouted at, "You're a Nazi!" because we're trying to get criminal illegal aliens who are dangerous off our streets. Got it. This is how Gavin Newsom feels it's appropriate to snidely mock the man who holds that very difficult job.
Guy Greg Bovino, dressed up. It's as if he literally went on eBay and purchased SS garb. Greg Bovino, secret police, private army, masked men, people disappearing, quite literally, no due process, windows being smashed, seatbelts on, being literally just sort of cut off, people dragged in the streets, kids separated from families, knocking on doors, racially profiling American citizens. So is it surprising the Trump administration didn't like my commentary and wanted to make sure that I was not allowed to speak? No, it's consistent with this administration and their authoritarian tendencies. Forgive me, these are objective facts.
Just gave you the absolute in 50 seconds or less. This is the 2026 campaign materials for your American Democratic Party, right? Lying to you about what's going on. They're dragging people, kids in cages. They're taking them away from their parents. Oh, zip ties. Oh my gosh. 30% of people arrested aren't even people who have criminal records. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Meanwhile, Stephen A. Smith smells right through it, and it infuriates him that Gavin Newsom decided to insert himself into the globalist stage over at Davos.
Gavin Newsom, respectfully, what are you doing? You're the governor of the state of California in the United States of America. Why are you over in Davos, Switzerland, talking to folks and speaking negatively about the president of the United States? I have no problem with Gavin Newsom being candid and open about his feelings about our president on United States soil. To go over to another country, Switzerland, to go over there and to be in the presence of other European leaders speaking against the president of the United States. I'm not down with that. Y'all might be. I'm not down with that at all. Say whatever you want here as a governor from the opposite side of the aisle of a state in the United States on American soil, fine. But I'm one of those people, when we go somewhere else, it's America first. You know, our problems, our problems. But we ain't taking dirty laundry outside. You don't go on a world stage to disrespect your own house, which is the United States of America. I don't like that at all. Not even a little bit.
It seems like Gavin Newsom didn't get the message my sons did when they were quite young. Boys, always protect the herd. Isn't it interesting when people think they're bigger than that? Right? Gavin doesn't look so good either. You guys notice? Doesn't look so good. What's wrong, Gavin? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, the FCC, this is kind of interesting. I don't know how you feel about it. The FCC may start cracking down on the relentless Trump bashing on television. Is it long overdue or a bridge too far? You decide next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right. Thank goodness for this. Two a day is easy. I'm going to tell you, it's easy to have something like this, MCT Wellness, which goes by the healthy fat. The healthy fat. This is created by Dr. Stephen Gundry. If you're unfamiliar with his name, just Google Gundry and have your face start to melt off. The guy is like super smart. I don't know how many people. I think they say he has done more pediatric heart transplant operations than anybody else in the world. Like, what? And he noticed one day, he's like, I'm a little fatty lady. So he created this and he's like, look, I know what's going on inside of the body. I know how enzymes work. I know what's happening inside. And did you know that there's this thing inside of you that your body actually holds on to calories and whatnot in the event that, kind of as a protector, a mechanism to protect you if you don't eat or what have you. But this helps you just flip the switch, release the calories, release the hounds. Then all of a sudden what you see is you got some nice weight loss going on. This is the same sort of idea as lean. It's just a delicious powder in water is what you do. And you drink it and it kills your appetite for 5 hours. I'm just going to say that. 5 hours, easy. Easy. I drink it when I'm at the gym. And then I drink it here again. And I will not be hungry in any regard until probably, 4:30. You think you can lose weight by, I don't know, trimming down how many meals you eat? That's what this is. Dietary supplement, meal supplement. It's going to do all these wonderful things for you. I love it. I drink it every day. And you're going to get a nice discount too. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Again, that video that he put out, Dr. Gundry did, is worth it, worth it. I hope you get the drink because I like the drink. I think you're going to benefit from the drink. But if you just watch the video, you're going to be better off. It's all I'm about, babe. All I'm about.
I'm sure we will cover the Jack Smith hearings tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's
hard to do when they're doing these things starting at 10 or 10:30. It's kind of hard to rush out and get sound. Let me see if I can get anything on Don Lemon.
But you know what? Can I gripe for a second
Sure.
about that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you moved that quickly with that?
Yes. Where's everything else?
Where's everything else? Like, here goes my weekly rant on Pam Bondi.
It says a judge declined to sign off on charges against former CNN anchor Don Lemon.
We'll find another judge.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Either way, Pam Bondi, where are you? Stop with the... Give me the stuff that's on paper. We know James Comey and Letitia James. We know the paperwork is there. The mortgages, the Adam Schiffs. I don't care what you get them on, but the paperwork is there. Like, we see the paperwork. Where are you, Pam Bondi? Where are you? But you do that on these people who, great, I think they should be arrested. But really, I'm not looking for little wins anymore. I want to see people with names in handcuffs. Perp walk them. They'll use it for trying to drum up money. Go ahead and let them. You had no problem doing it to Donald Trump. Do we have a thing for blood pressure?
Yes.
People drive me crazy.
Heart and vascular health. It's got some CoQ10 and resveratrol.
Oh, boy.
How you doing? So here's the headline. The FCC is going to start cracking down on partisan TV shows that exist only to bash one side every single day. You know, I should be for that. I should be like, that is fantastic. But it makes me uncomfortable, right? I have a choice. The reason why these television programs, these networks, why you see some consolidation, why you see mergers, others are just plain folding, right? It's because half of the country checked out from paying attention to them. Like, I have a very wonderful ability to decide what I want to see and hear. And I don't watch that. And so their ratings go down cataclysmically. You cannot continue to survive if you're not bringing in a lot of money, which is why they're all totally scrambling. So should the FCC have a rule? You know what? If you're on The View, you can't have 99 out of 101 guests for your year be liberals. I don't know. What do you guys think? Shows like The View and liberal late night shows may soon find themselves under pressure from the FCC to include more Republican guests and to present a point of view other than the constant one-sided programming we see every day. The View, I don't want The View to do well. Is that wrong for me to say? Like, I don't want them to do well. I don't want them to bring on somebody who people want to tune in and hear. I don't want them to do that because then they do well. I want them to become irrelevant, desperate, and to go dark. That's what I want. View, just one example, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert. They're just as bad, if not worse. Colbert had Bernie Sanders on his show last night. It was his 19th appearance, right? And they used the time to push Bernie's left-wing politics. Elizabeth Warren's been on Colbert countless times. I mean, they use these shows on public airways to advance a political agenda. And a lot of people are saying this is way overdue. So this is the official thing that they said. The FCC announced Wednesday it's providing guidance to the 3 broadcast networks to adhere to the statutory equal opportunities requirement, citing the Communications Act of 1934, including their airing of late night and daytime talk shows. Under Section 315, if a broadcast station permits any legally qualified candidate for public office to use its facilities, it shall provide an equal opportunity to all other legally qualified candidates for that office. Brock, is that like radio? Is it the same thing? You guys got to provide equal access or equal time?
During an
Elections?
election season, you are.
Okay, so this is just
But
saying
they have to ask for it. You don't have to offer it.
Oh, so if they ask for it, then you have to say yes. Okay. There's been a long-standing bona fide exception for news programming that wouldn't require equal time for an opposing candidate. But the FCC now says it's not been presented with any evidence that the interview portion of any late night or daytime television talk show program on the air presently would qualify for the bona fide news exemption. And so Brendan Carr, FCC chair, said for years, legacy TV networks assumed that the late night and daytime talk shows qualify as basically bona fide news programs, even when motivated by purely partisan political purposes. And today, the FCC reminded them of their obligation to provide all candidates with equal opportunities. Okay, I understand what they're saying. The ridiculosity of having to go to such a length just to create the illusion of attempted fairness is so upsetting to me. It goes back to my monologue, right? I do not believe I could still be working in the local news business today. I do not believe that I could be, say, a paid employee of Gannett or Hearst or what have you, and I was of both, and be told this is what I have to do. It would be the death of me. I couldn't do it. There is not enough money in the world for me to agree to sit down and right? There's a corporation in front of you. They tell you what you have to do. This is maybe an equaling. I don't know, but they're saying the Charlie Kirk Act is what really needs to be done. And this is the changing of the Smith-Mundt Act that we've talked about. And they want to rename it. I want to read you something from this change.com petition because I think it's interesting. It says, as an American, the person says, is Charlie Kirk's life taken not from any wrongdoing on his own? In a climate where unfounded allegations and misinformation, like the false claim that Charlie advocated for stoning gays to death, can be openly spread by mainstream media figures and platforms. These allegations lacked any substantial evidence, yet fueled hatred, offering a stark reminder of the extent to which misinformation can endanger lives. We find ourselves calling for the updating and reimplementation of the Smith-Mundt Act, a pivotal legislative piece that safeguarded the American public from the manipulation and the dissemination of false information. Why ever would it be that Barack Obama would wave that magic wand, right? Like 2014 and be like, I think we should all be lied to more than less. Let's go. We'll come back on the Wendy Bell radio program. Fredo, it's a bad look on everybody, guys. Just ask Chris Cuomo next. They already have 168,000 people signing this petition. This amended act would hold media outlets, radio stations, educators, and content creators accountable for the false narratives and erroneous information they spread deliberately or irresponsibly.
I don't disagree.
I don't disagree.
And if here's my problem, right? And you know this, we had the conservative on in our district, and someone called and complained to me and sent me an email saying, how come you don't have wow, what was his Connor
Lamb?
Yeah.
Mhm.
How come you don't have him?
Because he
on?
doesn't
Blah,
say
blah, blah, blah.
yes. Because he doesn't say yes.
I emailed back, said, get him to say yes, and we'll gladly have him on.
Yeah, I would
Don't
love that.
complain because your guy doesn't want to talk.
100%. 100%.
And they said for the Don Lemming, it was a magistrate judge blocked it. Process is not over, though, and other avenues can be pursued to charge Lemming per CBS. They said Lemon, I say Lemming.
You know, you've made it long enough when people stop correcting you. I think that you've got his name wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know I do. I know I do.
I'm not for government acting as program directors.
No,
one of the reasons
I agree.
we did this is so no one could sit there and say, you
can't
need
say
to do
that.
this. You need to have this person on. No, it's stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they lie, that's one thing. But you shouldn't be involved in programming. The government should not be involved in programming at all. I totally disagree with Brendan Carr or whomever thinks this is a good idea. Stay in your lane. You know, I was thinking about when you say, you know, you love TV. It's the harsh reality that you can't love something that doesn't love you back.
Mm.
You can't love it enough, you know, like I love radio. Radio doesn't love me back. It's hard to love something because you're just going to be disappointed because they don't care about you. They don't care that you want to tell the truth. They don't care. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard watching people rip and read and it not be factual. It's hard watching managers bring you in with signs that say censorship is un-American. And then literally in the meeting tell you can't say that. I mean, come on.
Dear
Come
Wendy,
on, man.
Dear Wendy, I listen to you every day, mostly because you are gorgeous and wonderful in every way. Okay, it doesn't say that, but it says mostly because you are genuine, honest, and truly caring, which is a much better compliment. Thank you. When we left Texas to go to our 10 weeks in Pittsburgh, our daughter had a level of pain that was so severe she was not able to participate in any further physical therapy. Her mood was dark. Every day slugged along with little hope of independence in her future. And of course, you now know that all that has changed. We've been home in Texas for now 6 weeks. She's walking without pain through her 2-hour-long weekly PT sessions, completely amazing her physical therapist. Hard to put into words how much Dr. Rafferty and the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh have transformed her. Everyone in her life has reversed their prior skepticism about her non-invasive treatment. Our leap of faith was only possible because we trusted you. Oh my, thank you. I'm sure I won't be the only eternally grateful mom who listens to your show. Thank you, Julie. It's called intradisc neutrosis. And if you have a disc in your back or neck that's just all out of whack, you've been told you need to have surgery. You need to call the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh, 412-906-9600. Write it down, 412-906-9600. He's helped, 15,000, 20,000 people with intradisc neutrosis. It's a 8 to 10 week therapy. People are like, oh, I can't do that. Well, if you ever want to be pain-free, you can. And they come here. And they come here for months. And they do it, and it saves them. 412-906-9600, PittsburghDiscInstitute.com.
You looking at what I sent you?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the difference between men and women.
Yeah, it's such a disappointment.
It's just nuts.
You know, I that's actually really good.
Kind of fits with Fredo. And the person said, yeah, we don't want to be propagandized. Here's the thing. I agree. But now you know. People now know that the news is bullshit.
Uncle Cliff knows.
More people are waking up every single
That's
day.
why we love playing these voices for you. Like, I could sit here and talk to you for 3 hours. Or we can listen to how somebody else interprets it and talk about it. I think that is your new media. people who have something, who see something, who say something, who share it. That it's so much more interactive. It's so much better than having somebody who you don't know tell you what's going on and then tell you that's the news. What if it's not?
I can't believe.
What if it's not?
Bernie's been on that many times and
God.
hasn't asked for a union card.
God. I hate everyone. I just hate everyone. Sorry. Look at that. 766 on X. Hi. Thank you if you're watching on Rumble. Appreciate you. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. So I'm just going to give you a little secret about television. And I know it's going to be a huge shocker. You're going to be like, get out. No way. There are a lot of very narcissistic, insecure egomaniacs in television. Not all of them. There's some truly lovely people. But there are some mighty big egos walking around. And I don't know if that's a product that, if you think about your local television news or your preferred network that you might have watched in the past before you realize they suck. That person at the, who's delivering it is outrageously compensated. And really, quite frankly, next to Hollywood, it is the next highest civilian position. Wouldn't you imagine? People see you, they recognize you. There's a lot of blowhardia that goes into that for TV news people. It just is what it is. I never understood it. It's a job, and I would tell people the only difference between my job and your job is that you can watch me do my job, right? That's it. Anyway, for Chris Cuomo, who is just such a huge zero, and he pretends, and he thinks that he can change his stripes, that we forget who he is and what he's done. He is a lefty, as left as they come. And he got hired by News Nation. And by the way, they offered me the job first. I will say that. Thank you very much. That's demonstrably true. Before all of that jazz, right? He's on the left. News Nation comes out and they're like, we're kind of middle of the road. We're going to do middle of the road stuff. We're going to preside one side. We're going to do this other side. We're going to present it all. Okay. Like that. Well, he shows us yesterday, Chris Cuomo does, that he's just an angry, butthurt narcissist who's upset that Scott Jennings over at CNN, who is wildly popular for, in the moment, being able to dismantle any whack job, the least of which, mentally acuity-wise, would be Abby Phillip. But anybody on the panel at CNN he could take down and basically just respectfully dismantle. And conservatives love him. He's widely popular. I love him. So he has this clip on the other day, where he's got that Cameron Kasky guy. This is the 25-year-old Parkland school shooting survivor who now fancies himself some kind of a know-it-all about politics. And he scolds Scott Jennings for calling illegals illegals. Well, they are illegals. They're here illegally. That makes you freaking illegal, you little punk. Well, Scott was a lot nicer about it than I, but apparently this has really gotten under the skin of my boyfriend, Chris Cuomo. He's now getting all in your face about it. Oh, yeah, you're trying to be a tough guy. It is such a bad look. It sounds terrible when you listen to it. This is the underbelly of the people giving you the news.
You see this clip of Scott Jennings saying, how are you going to enforce it? How are you going to enforce me not saying the word illegals anymore? How are you going to do that?
Say illegals anymore, because ICE is directly targeting legal citizens of this country. And how
are you going to enforce your edict on me, just out of curiosity?
Listen, I understand.
But just listen to his point about illegals.
No, what are you, bully now? What are you, tough guy? Because you're talking to this kid who happens to be right, calling people illegals. They're called illegal aliens in the law. And you know what? A long time ago, Republicans and Democrats switched to undocumented. Why? Because it seemed inhuman. That's why. They changed the vernacular, and you know it.
So they didn't agree on anything, right? And by the way, it's not inhuman. You want to say it's inhumane, but it's not. It's true. It's called semantics, and you're trying to play a game. My facts don't give a rip about your feelings, Chris Cuomo, which are all ensconced in you being upset that people like Scott Jennings and Nick Shirley and others are out there making, I don't know, people talking about them. And there you are just being angry, Fredo. We agreed to call them undocumented because it's just not right. No, they're illegal. They broke the law to get here, so they're illegal. So you can suck it, but he's not done. What do you know? He's going to be all in your face. This is, oh boy. As a woman, and I'm harsh on women, this is the kind of man I find the least appealing. This Mr. Big Shot in your face, fluff it up, right? Listen.
But that's not the point. The point is, how are you going to do it? What are you going to do? What are you? You're a tough guy now, huh? I thought you were just supposed to be the simpering, but, open to conversation Trump defender. Of course, I remember you when you said he was like the worst thing in the world, but everything's convenience these days, right? It's getting you paid. But be careful. If you want to be a tough guy, there are plenty of tough guys out there. You want to see how somebody can make you stop saying illegal? And then what are you going to do? Sue? Tough guy.
What is this thing that you have about that word? If somebody's going to go jump Scott Jennings because he calls people illegal aliens? What are you defending, you jerk? What, are you defending the landscapers at your house in the Hamptons, Chris? What are you doing? This is the disgusting one side, two side of the media. What are you going to do? You're going to get in his face. You're going to be a tough guy, and he's not done. Here's Chris Cuomo, Fredo number 3 for the TKO.
How are you going to enforce that? So if somebody beats your ass because you're being rude and disrespectful and causing division in this country that's causing distress and pain all over the streets and making people want to hurt one another. If you really want to be a part of that, as the expression goes, FAFO, don't be a tough guy. Make tough points. But remember to be decent. You're not a tough guy, okay? You're a guy with slick to the side hair, a slick tongue, and everybody knows what you're doing. Don't be a tough guy. Not you.
Isn't that awful that a guy who fancies himself a main television news anchor is that insecure? That's how liberals argue. They choose things. Called him simpering with his slicked back hair, with his blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hey. And then you're going to say that somebody's going to get in a fight with him? You know, Chris Cuomo, that the reason why you're even saying this is because Joe Biden let in 20 million freaking illegal aliens. And you know what? If you want to get in my face, Chris, come to me. I'll go toe to toe with you. How dare you? You sanctimonious clod. Shut up. I feel much better now, thank you. Now, while Chris Cuomo is flexing his muscles, remember when he came up out of COVID? He'd just done like 50 push-ups, so his arms were, like bulging. And he comes up like he's slightly sweaty and out of breath, and he's like, ah! Meanwhile, we'd seen him out riding his bike in the Hamptons or whatever. You're like, you're such a freaking phony piece of poop, Chris Cuomo. This is a great video from Western Lensman, and this is something that Donald Trump retweeted out from this. And it's all about how the Democrats, the strategy, the plan that's in the works while Chris is worrying about Scott Jennings getting more attention than he. This is all about one party rule. These are the steps, and they all seem extraordinarily familiar.
Democrat open borders plan to entrench single-party rule, explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world, enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets, codify permanent status, and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof of citizenship requirements, making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved. The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.
You know what's left out of this is the real potential that unless the black voting group walks away, unless the black community wakes up the way Uncle Cliff has, and so many of the other voices, and there have been so many black voices out there putting out videos seeing exactly what you and I are seeing. So those are 9 steps, right? I submit there might be a 10th one. Delegitimize legitimate law enforcement as being thuggish. And that is exactly what this woman, her name is Karishma Manzer, and she's running to be a Democrat in the Senate in New Hampshire. New Hampshire Democrat Senate candidate Karishma Manzer. Now, she's asked in this program at WMUR television, it's a program called Close Up, and they're obviously talking like knee to kneecap about, you know, her candidacy, et cetera, et cetera. She's come out and she said that she believes in abolishing ICE. And so this host does a really great job of holding her feet to the fire. Listen.
What's the difference between saying abolish ICE and saying defund the police?
I never said defund the police.
No, but what's the difference between those two sentiments?
The police force I believe in. The law and order system I believe in. We have a public defense system. We have a law enforcement system. ICE is not law enforcement. ICE is not law enforcement. Please, let us not...
So what happens when you abolish ICE? What happens to those 20,000 officers?
What happens to them? Actually, let's talk about who those agents are. Do we even know who they are? Why are they always covering up their faces? Are they coming from... Are they January 6th insurrectionists? Are they Proud Boys? Are they coming out of 4chan? Are they coming out of some extremist group? This is very concerning. Law enforcement officers have so much power over us and deserve so much respect from us. They're highly trained, they're respectful, they're heavily armed, and yet they're not covering up their faces. They have badges on with their names and the insignia telling us which force they're coming from. What is ICE? Is covering their faces, acting thuggish, dragging people out of the cars. So anyways, ICE is not law enforcement.
So she got her talking points, kind of like everybody did on January 6th as you were flipping through the stations and everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's an insurrection. And we're like, what? I've never heard anybody say that word before. It's an insurrection. And then all of a sudden it was an insurrection, everybody. Oh my gosh. By the way, ICE is federal law enforcement. Yeah, twit. It operates under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. It was established in 2003. Its official mission includes conducting criminal investigations, enforcing immigration laws, preserving national security, and protecting public safety. They enforce over 400 federal statutes related to immigration, customs, border patrol, border control, trade, and related areas. Maybe that woman should educate herself before she wants to get in front of the public and speak on behalf of the Democrat Party. Okay? Just saying. All right, when we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program. An unhinged leftist surrounds and attacks the commander from CBP, Border Patrol. Oh boy. Next. They're not law enforcement. Okay.
She never answered the question.
So what do you know? You want to abolish ICE? How is that like defunding the police? What are you going to do with all those people? What are you going to do with them? What happens?
I'm so glad you said no to Newsmax.
What do you mean?
Not Newsmax, News Nation.
Oh. Now that's a bit of it's a bit of oversell. They offered me a position there that would have been on in the prime time. It wasn't that particular show because they had me.
No, it was 7.
Was it?
Because so they changed the rules mid.
First, they wanted my radio show. They wanted the show.
They still did.
The WG ended.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they were going to syndicate it.
Yes.
And then they were going to split you and do TV too.
Yeah.
And
because that makes sense.
It was 7 o'clock, but they said you can do it all from Pittsburgh. Then they changed their mind. And
then we need you to fly in.
Yeah. You guys can move to Chicago. And, you know, and then they gave, when you said no, Ashley Banfield got it, and she wasn't in Chicago. And then I think she's gone, and that's where Chris Cuomo came in. So it was that time slot.
I don't say that to be anything other than factual.
No, I was
thinking
back. Can you imagine living in Illinois?
No, I was born there. I was looking at homes. I went and saw my childhood home. What a dump.
Whew. I know you called me in the middle of a baseball game.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Anyway, let me tell you guys about the Simkovich Concussion Institute. It seems like I say the same thing again and again, and I just don't ever think that I deliver it the way it should be delivered. Like, if you knew at the end of the day that you benefited somebody's health, whether it was their mental health or it was their physical health, can you imagine how rewarding that would be? That would be so rewarding. And Dr. Simkovich gets to see it every single week. Our friend who went through his intense concussion protocol, all of that, she didn't have a concussion. She just had essential tremor and nobody could help her. And for 40 years, she lived shaking out of her shoes, not being able to put on lipstick or, you know, do her hair. Like, her hands shook that much. And I was like, well, you've got nothing to lose. Let me call them and see if they'll see you. And to her credit, they did it all. And she went for 4 days and got adjusted, because that's what Dr. Simkovich does to your face. And she says her tremors, 75% gone. What? He changed her life. He gave my friend her joy. Her family saw it over the holidays. Like, that's pretty special. 412-366-3700. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. 412-366-3700. Get in touch with them, because you know what they do? They cure people. Even if you have bad headaches. I suffered bad headaches for years. I have one right now. I've had one all day. But I had terrible ones as a little girl. And going into college and whatnot. It's just the pits. And he can fix that. It's pretty amazing. Newsmax is actually bugging me right now.
Chris Cuomo. Meanwhile, the guy who says don't be a tough guy was the guy that went after the guy in the street because he said, shouldn't you be in your basement? You have COVID?
You know, if you didn't have the media fanning the flames, if you didn't have people paying attention to the media fanning the flames, you wouldn't have a bunch of idiots in the freezing cold protesting law enforcement trying to get rapists and murderers off the street. And that absolutely ridiculous statement that I just made. Like, in what world does that make sense to you? I wouldn't have to say that if Customs and Border Protection were able to do their jobs, if the media were ever honest. This is everything that we're going through is a direct result of Joe Biden's auto pen. That's what happens when you get 20 million people. You have grifts out the wazoo. You have programs that are absolutely untenable, unaffordable. You have people who thieve off the system. You have agitators who know they need to keep people busy, so they create fires, right? So the smoke drifts into your eyes and you can't see what's going on. What? This is why I'm so angry at the media. They know better. Anybody who has at any point stopped and just listened to what this president says for 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Does he sound like he's going after regular, everyday people? Or does he say, you know what, if you're in this country illegally and you have been for years, but you make moves to self-deport, we want you back. We want you back. And we want you back the right way. And we will work with you. See, that doesn't fly on the news. That's rational. That sounds lawful. That sounds orderly. It sounds like a logical reaction to a fiasco, chaotic situation created on purpose by the left. And yeah, Donald Trump's a bad guy, and so is Border Patrol. This story is beyond. I don't understand how you're in the street with a bag of chips at a convenience store, and you go like this to the chips, and you dump them over the head or the shoulders of the commander of Border Patrol and think that's okay. Who goes home and they're like, man, I had such an awesome day. What'd you do, dear? Ha! Oh, yeah, I went after him. I called him a Nazi. I called him Nazi scum. And I took my Doritos. I know I like my Doritos, but they were Cool Ranch and they give me bad breath anyway, so that I dumped them on him. Right. Psychos. This is what happened to unhinged leftists surround and basically attack the leader of CBP. Here we go. Now, I can show it to you. We can listen to it. Want to listen? We got a little listening to it. Well, I want you to hear it. This is what it sounds like, and then I'll tell you exactly. Imagine in your mind, you're at a convenience store. You know what a convenience store looks like. They got gas pumps, right? Little thing inside. You get a Dr. Pepper, what have you. Here's Border Patrol being followed, basically hunted, and then assaulted. Ready? And of course, these are the people who have to exercise restraint, because what I'm sure that guy wants to do more than anything is sock the dude with the blow thing in the face. And then the Nazi scum guy, just tackle him, right? I would. For weeks, leftists have been encouraged by Minnesota officials to riot against ICE, prompting a federal investigation into Governor Tim Walz during a stop at a gas station where rabid anti-ICE demonstrators followed Greg Bovino, the border commander, right? One person dumped a bag of chips on him. The crowd followed him, screaming and honking air horns. Per independent journalist Cam Higbee, who shared the footage, 20 to 30 cars have been following Bovino and his team for hours. Protesters have been flipping the convoy off. ICE agents are responding with peace signs. Do you need a better dichotomy, right? What hand gesture represents your ideology? Oh, yeah, I'm going to give him a double-barreled bird. F you. What's your side? Well, we believe in peace. How about peace? Peace through strength, right? That's your choice. Protesters mobbing the commander, multiple minor clashes, the cars following, throwing stuff at him, rocks and garbage, right? Because these fellows are doing a job that they were hired to do, that we pay them to do, to get rid of people who put us in danger, to get them off our streets, to get them back on planes, and to ship them back from where they came. It is that simple. But this is the last stand. And these Democrats will do whatever they can. They'll gin up whomever they need to, some rabid lunatic, to protect their investment. 20 million people brought here with your money. What a great deal, right? What'd you get out of that? High mortgage rate? Awesome. When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, and the password is home health care. The grift now in Maine next. Healthy Cell. I'm telling you, Brock can attest to it. I was very agitated this morning. You know what helps? calm mood. Some people would be like, oh my gosh, I need to do something. I need to take something. I need to take something. Well, what you need to take is all natural. And I'm going to take it right now because maybe it's going to help my headache. All right, here we go. Ready? Tell you what's in it. Healthy Cell, by the way, this is all these microgel supplement in these little pouches. Super cute. And they work. They work. They got a bunch of formulas. The ones I have sitting right here. Immune super boost, heart and vascular health, calm mood, focus and recall, REM sleep, joint health and mobility. And that one took my bone strength. Whatever. This one says soothing herbal extracts, vitamins, and adaptogens, including ashwagandha, something I can't see, 5-HTP and L-theanine for relaxation and occasional stress relief. I'm taking it. healthycell.com/Wendy. Berry lemon. So like literally that's it. You don't go to the pharmacy. I need a Xanax. Is that what you take for that? I don't know. Probably. Right? And doesn't that mess up your digestive system too? Doesn't it make you all weird? This doesn't. I've taken it on an empty stomach. All these formulations. Empty stomach, you know when you take pills on an empty stomach and you're like, oh my God, I feel so gross. Not this. That's it. And by 2:30, I'm going to be like, how you doing? But I love it. I love their formulations. But I think more than anything, I love anybody who thinks outside the box. And like, look, over the age of 40, 50, we don't process stuff that we swallow that well, like pills. So rather than pooping it out, let's get it into your system with a microgel. How about that? Anyway, healthycell.com/Wendy. I love them. And I will say, full disclosure, I had that honey, that chocolate honey that our friend Andy put on his website, disinfectwithsniper.com. Yeah, I'm not a big chocolate person. I'm not a big honey person. I took a piece of sourdough, toasted, and put it all over it. Oh, my. If you want it, it exists at disinfectwithsniper.com. It is delicious. It is delicious. And what's great is you take it out and you put it on a hot, warm piece of bread, and it sort of like melts on it. And you're like, okay. Disinfectwithsniper.com. I like me some Rich McHugh. He's definitely on my short list of favorite dudes. He's just kind of a goofy, like, he's not your, Sparkleberry Ken or whatever.
He's not Bill Maloogian.
He's not Bill. He doesn't have the hair.
Yeah. But Bill Maloogian is one of the ones I like.
I do too. He's great. How do you not like him? But I like this guy. He's kind of dumpy, white, like kind of guy. And he's a badass.
Bad bod.
He's a badass.
No, he does what he's supposed to do, his job.
Kind of nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I got stuff popping up all over the place. You guys know what today is, right? It is. All right. Oh, disinfectwithsniper.com. Yes, I just got sidetracked on that. But they do have all these various products that I think you're going to love. Sniper, Knockout, Harmony, with Dead Man's Brew or whatever the hell, Dead Weed Brew. Put that on something, it's gone. Gone. Got a strawberry plant in your grass, clover, gone. Right? And Harmony, organic pest control for lice, even bed bugs, fleas and ticks. Are you out of your mind? And they're organic? Disinfectwithsniper.com. Might as well get the freaking honey. Got everything else. I even got the flag.
He's even getting the flags for the embroidered ones in.
This is 15, you said? 15?
I think.
I think it's 15.
Yeah.
It holds 15. Somebody on the stream asked that, or somebody emailed me. How many does that hold? Remember, we have a very limited number of those Second Amendment commemorative gifts. That's how you'll see it at wendybellradio.com. It's got Clarence Thomas's North is Still North.
Is it 30?
What?
Someone's saying 30.
This is 30?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a great question. I don't have the answer to that. Mine has 15, I think. My Glock. All right. I still hate everybody, but I'm glad you guys are with me. $2.51. Look at you guys go. 5,600 here. We were number 4 on the leaderboard yesterday. Creeping up to 1,000 on X. That's what I'm talking about. Fussy and all.
Oh, we have a password.
We do?
Yeah.
Who did that?
Your guy?
Did you ask him to?
No.
So is it just like a thing?
It's 4 seconds, 3 seconds.
He loves me because he knows I love him.
Wow.
Kelly, just admit it. Your wife's cool with it. It's a good, clean love.
It's a good, clean love.
Plus, your wife could kick my ass. She's awesome.
Good, clean love. I don't know. I don't even want to ask what bad, dirty love looks like.
I don't know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. You know, just listening to that open, and Brock plays it every single day. We're going to win. We're going to win more. We're going to win on everything. And when you're tired, you think you can't take it anymore, I'm going to say to you, no, we've got more to go. Let's go. Do not quit. Win, win, win. Fight, fight, fight. When was the last time somebody spoke that way to you? When was the last time somebody stood up and grabbed the American flag in a bear hug? And I dare say Donald Trump was about 2 centimeters away from kissing it. In fact, he might have. When was the last time? You don't get that from Democrats. You don't get pride. You don't get patriotism. You don't get that vibe inside of you that takes you right to the cusp of breaking down in tears because of how much you love this country. You don't get that on the left. You get that you're the problem, that you're insensitive, you're intolerant, you're racist, you don't like certain people, you're a bigot. No, we're just tired. We're tired of that. And we kindly ask you to leave. You know, that's all we want with this fraud stuff. All the people, punish them. Punish them. And if you're from another country, get on a plane and get the hell out of here. I'm not interested in squeezing these people. I think they should have all of their assets withdrawn, of course, rescinded. But by the way, get the hell out. That's what we want. None of this would have happened to this degree if not for Joe Biden, if not for a stolen election. You're not allowed to say that. Well, I just did because it's the truth. And you know it. A reporter for News Nation traveled to the state of Maine and covered more possible fraud. He highlighted one particular building that is supposedly home to 10 Somali-owned home health care companies. Yet, when he interviewed the landlord, he said that there is never anyone there. It almost feels like this problem is so pervasive, we need a password. What is it?
The password is home health care.
Home health care. Yes. How many people do you know out there who get home health care? Anybody? Have you? I haven't. Nobody in my family has. I don't know. How does that work? Are you one of those people who, I don't know. Are you in a wheelchair? Oh, I don't know. Well, it's not like 300 of them in a building, these providers who, of course, don't exist. This is News Nation's Rich McHugh. He interviews a local newspaper reporter who points out at various locations where they're standing. This is in Portland, Maine. He's interviewing this guy who's the executive producer or executive writer, whatever it is, guy in charge of the thing called the Maine Wire. And it sounds like it's like one of the few publications there that isn't wildly progressive. And he's like, look, we're standing at this intersection in this road. And everywhere you see, I can point it out. That's a so-and-so Somalia. That's a such and such, which sends money to Somalia. That's a yada yada. Now the left tells you that's you're hating people. You hate dark people. You hate black and brown people, said Don Lemon. No, I hate people who make bad decisions and then fall back on their skin color as an excuse. Sorry, bro. It's no longer applicable to you. Well, I want you to hear Rich McHugh as he's in Maine. The fake home health care business is in full swing. And now Rich catches up with one building owner. This is a golden gem. He gets a guy who owns the structure where all of these buildings, all these rooms are inside. And he says to the guy, can I come inside and see if any of these people are here? And he's like, yeah, I haven't seen anybody in ever. Listen.
We're here in Portland, Maine. We found of the businesses that are registered in here, of the 20-something businesses, 10 of them are home health care businesses. As you can see, Prestige Home Care, Bright Star Home Care, Atlantic Community Support, 5 Stars Home Health Care, Prime Home Care, LLC. It's a trend we saw in Minnesota, one that the Minnesota House Oversight Committee on Fraud tells News Nation is a giant red flag. Large clusters of healthcare providers in one location. This building right behind me has 22 different home and community-based healthcare companies registered in the building. Inside this Portland office building, owner Ron Nevins agreed to speak with us.
I think I got 10 healthcare companies, which is probably about half, maybe a little less than half of this building.
Healthcare, home healthcare. I didn't even know what home healthcare was. Do you think these businesses are actually legit businesses?
Some, yes, but some I highly question. Nobody's ever here, and if it was 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but when there's 10, I've had as many as 12 or 13 probably before.
Yeah, and he's like, it's really not my business to get in people's business, but it is my business because it's my freaking tax dollars. And he takes umbrage with one. Rich McHugh does, and does this gentleman. It's called 5 Stars Home Health Care. Super shady because, it is.
The 5 Star, I took the sign off the door because I'm trying to rent the office.
A state audit found that 5 Star Home Health Care overbilled Maine's Medicaid by nearly $400,000, according to documents obtained by the Maine Wire. They failed to provide documentation to substantiate hundreds of thousands of dollars in Medicaid benefits paid out for home-based health care, and then the owner just abandoned the office.
I can't even reach him. 6 months. No return calls, no return texts, nothing.
There's been no consequences, no investigation, no resolution to what happened with 5 Stars Home Health Care.
100% correct. The gentleman you just heard is the executive editor of the Maine Wire, who's been following this fraud as a local for a long time. And he meets Rich McHugh on the street, and he's like, look, it's everywhere you look. This is how pervasive, in your face, it is, in plain sight.
And that, I think, is something, that's a story that we see play out time and time again.
You've been reporting on this for quite a long time here in Maine. How widespread do you think this issue is here?
hundreds of millions of dollars easily. It's, you look at just where we're standing right now, there are probably a dozen home healthcare agencies registered here. We can see Ladna Home Healthcare down there. That's a $2 million home healthcare agency. You can see it's located right next to two money wiring services. Right next to it, you have Dahab Shield. The Dahab Shield is the official money wiring service of the Central Bank of Somalia.
You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, Does
it bother you?
Well, it ticks me off if they're screwing the state of Maine, and because that's my tax money, You add up what's going on all over the state of Maine, it's probably millions and millions of dollars of fraud and abuse.
And of course, this is what exactly the Minneapolis folks don't want us talking about. Well, it's going on everywhere. We're going to talk about it everywhere. And then there was this. HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill, when he was out with Mehmet Oz, Dr. Oz, Medicaid and Medicare Services, right? They were out looking into the fraud in Minneapolis. And he's like, you know what? We visited a defunct cannery, right? A defunct cannery no longer in business. And we found inside, claiming to house 383 Medicaid providers that billed for more than $400 million, but they didn't see any children at all, any people at all. More to come, says the Deputy Secretary of HHS, Jim O'Neill. Now, I do want to tell you this because this is good news. So we told you last week they were setting up this tip line, right? We've got all these whistleblowers coming forward. If you have information that could help, us figure out who's been ripping us off, that tip line has received over 500 public tips on potential child care fraud. 500 about Minnesota alone. Now, you know darn well the Democrats don't want this exposed. They don't want this to be public knowledge. They don't want this to stop. I'm sorry. I'm not going to feel comfortable until I see Ilhan Omar in handcuffs. So how's this for a little breaking news update for you, Brock? We can probably hit that. I like when you hit that. It makes me feel good. Oh, there
Wendy
it is.
Bell, breaking news.
Thank you very much. It's very, very important here. Breaking update, gatewaypundit.com. Magistrate judge refuses to sign complaint bringing charges against Don Leming. But, what about this? It appears that the Trump DOJ is going to charge him. Anywho, and isn't that delicious? Here's your story. The Trump Justice Department charged Don Leming and 7 others for storming city's church in St. Paul, Minnesota. However, the magistrate judge rejected the charges against Don Lemon. Shut up already. Politico reporter Josh Gerstein corrected his previous post to clarify that the judge rejected charges against Don Leming. And according to CBS, the Justice Department is currently looking at other avenues in order to charge him. It was reported earlier this morning that a federal magistrate judge rejected the charges against Don Leming. CBS News reporting the same thing. You know what? I don't know why you've got to play favorites. He never would have done that. Ever would have done that going into a Baptist church. Never would have done that going into a black church. Did it to terrify and with bad intel, because remember the point of the raid going into that church? It was all to find a pastor there who's also a regional commander for ICE. And they thought that was okay. Look, I don't care what your charges are. Being an ass probably should be the biggest one. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, when crazy meets your hospital. Yeah, I'm going to tell you about those New York police detectives. Yeah, they needed help. They got liberal woke nonsense. Shameful. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. I'd fire the liver out of anybody who did that. You out. But Sheila's been here for 37 years. Well, she didn't make it to 38. Bye-bye. It's just grody. All of it. Right? All of it. I hate everyone. Except you all. Let's see how you're doing. Oh my. 400 to go. It's a lot to get to 3.0. I have faith in you guys. You're fantastic. You know, it's interesting too, this steady creep with y'all. It's like you make me earn it. I'm all right with that. Let me tell you about Dr. Dubiak. You know, putting on a lot of weight takes a lot of decisions. And it takes time. And if you've cycled and gone back, lost weight, put it back on, it's, if somebody could say to you, I have the secret sauce. I'm going to give you the magic recipe that is your body. Just you. Nobody else. If a doctor looked at you and said, I only want to talk about you, I'm going to take your blood. We're going to do all these tests. We're going to test it for a bazillion, gillion things. We're going to find out about hormones. We're going to find out, we're going to find all this stuff out about you. That's going to crack the code about why you can't lose weight and why you probably are eating the wrong foods. And you're like, but I really don't even eat that much. Well, the things that you're eating are not working for you. We're going to help work for you. And what happens is you lose rapid weight. Not as fast as maybe starving yourself, but it's all good nutritional education. And then when you're done with the program, Brock went through it, lost 70 pounds. You've got all the tools. You have all the knowledge. You know what you need to do. You've done it long enough. Takes months, but it works. BodybyAim360.com. But it's predicated on you. It's predicated on that blood test. You've got to get that blood test. It tells you everything about what you need. And then Dr. Dubiak also can suggest supplementation, oftentimes in the IVs, because they're right into the bloodstream. Don't have to get processed by your gut. And he can get you right. Like literally by the summertime. Think about it. Think about now. By the summertime, not only can you lose amazing amounts of weight, you can completely change your health and then have the tools to do it for the rest of your life. 412-227-9255. 412-227-9. What did I just say? 412-227-9255.
Yeah.
Okay. Body by Aim. BodybyAim360.com. That's kind of scary. I had a little black out there. 925.
So I'm reading a thing from CBS about the FCC. It says TV talk shows must offer equal time. So that's
different. And that's not just an election year.
Yeah. And Amy Klobuchar just filed papers to run for governor.
I want Mike Lindell or Scott Jensen, right? I don't know how much space Scott Jensen has. I mean, Mike Lindell has the...
I want anyone that's not going to be corrupt and is part of the system already. Amy Klobuchar is going to run for governor to cover her own ass.
100%. Yes. I concur. See, and they don't even feel the bad optics. What's she gonna say? I'm gonna come clean it up.
I didn't know.
Bull crap. I got a hand gesture for that. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. This is one of those stories. You know, and I said this about Renee Good the day after it happened. She knew better. George Floyd knew better. People know better. Your parents raise you better. And even if you're an orphan who's left on the street, you experience life and you know better. You know what to do, what not to do. And the decisions that you make have consequences, yes. But see, it's so funny because on the left, there's always a reason why they're not culpable. It's always something wrong about you. Oh, yeah? Well, you don't like so-and-so. Oh, yeah? Well, you don't like people who are Muslim. Oh, yeah? You don't like black and brown people. No, I don't like bad people. I don't like bad people. It doesn't matter what you look like, right? And I don't care at all. If you suck, you suck. And if you work in a hospital, this is scary as stones. If you work in a hospital and you grade or you base your quality of care and how you treat others on whether or not they're Trump supporters or ICE agents, then you've got a failed hospital system. You have a cancer that needs to be ferreted out. It needs to be excised. It needs to be irradiated. It needs to be destroyed. Because I'd never go to your hospital. How scary is this? Right? Can you imagine? You're having a hard time breathing. You're like, I think, honey, I don't know. I got this chest tightness. It doesn't feel right. Let's go to the emergency room. And you go there. And there's a doctor, and he's like, oh, my gosh, let's take a look at your heart. All right, we're going to do an EKG. We're going to do this. You've got a major blockage. Okay, well, oh, you're a Trump supporter. Well, you know what? We're a little busy right now, but I'll call you when it's free, when the room is free. You're like, that never happened. Yeah, it would. Because it happened to these dudes on a smaller scale, but just as disgusting. Here you go. New York Post is the story. Makes me so angry. New York Police Department cops disrespected at City Hospital after they are mistaken for ICE agents. Total moral collapse. Here you go. A crew of NYPD cops was disrespected at a Big Apple hospital after being mistaken for federal ICE agents. And police brass are furious over it, the Post has learned. The flap unfolded Friday night with 3 plainclothes detectives showing up at New York University's Langone Cobble Hill Hospital after a scuffle with a drug suspect, and things quickly got tense between the cops and the hospital staff. Are you out of your freaking mind? A law enforcement official comes in and you judge? My goodness. The 3 cops arrived at the hospital after the suspected scuffle, blah, blah, blah. The suspect spat on them during a narcotics investigation, oh boy, by cops in Brooklyn North on Friday, NYPD said. When they arrived at the Cobble Hill emergency room, the detectives were told they could not go into the ER with their service weapons. So one of the cops agreed to hold the gun while his partner was treated, the department said. However, hospital staff approached the second detective in the waiting room, waiting for his body to get bandaged up. Oh, hold your gun, dude. Just go get care. They're more worried about him and his guns and who he is. Are you ICE? They told him he had to leave because he was armed, causing enough of a stir that the cop being treated had to intervene. And then at that point, the 2 detectives heard members of the hospital staff saying something to the effect of them believing they were ICE and that they should get care elsewhere. Hospital staff was nasty to the officers in the waiting room, accused them of being ICE, and suggested they go elsewhere. One ticked-off source familiar with the incident said. They properly identified themselves, despicable to anybody to attempt to deny care or suggest that they go elsewhere. Now, the NYPD Detectives Endowment Association fired back at the hospital in a statement on Wednesday. No individual, especially an NYPD detective, injured in the line of duty, should ever be subjected to such treatment, the statement said. Nobody. The DEA is actively investigating this matter and will pursue all available remedies to ensure our members are treated with the dignity and serious the deal. And Eric Adams is the one who actually says it right. He says to Kathy Hochul, get your head out of your butt, sister. Go figure this out. Hold the hospital accountable. This is not acceptable at all. He called it a total moral collapse. A hospital that politicizes emergency care is no longer a hospital. It is an activist institution pretending to practice medicine. A freaking men. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Would you ever in a million years, abandon the herd like that? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, you could tell that has me hot. Sorry. When we come back, I want to do a little more Gavin Newsom for you. It's the real reason Gavin Newsom got 86 to Davos, okay? I alluded to it earlier. We're going to play it for you. You don't go to another country and drag your president. Period. Next.
I'm sure we'll have some sound from Jack Smith hearings. Michael Fanone trying to start a fight in it. That guy's a dirtbag, anyways. We know you lied. You and Harry Dunn, you lied. You were propped up by Nancy Pelosi and the J6 committee to be heroes. We know you're not. No, President Trump's Greenland deal is going to be free to the U.S. We're going to get everything we want for $0, other than the cost of the Golden Dome, which I'm not going to have to pay anything. We're going to have total access to Greenland. As long as we don't have to pay for the socialized lifestyle. Oh boy. I don't even want to hit the sound. I don't even want to hear this. I'm just going to read you the headline. Obsessed Hank Johnson, Mr. Guam Tipping, wants Jack Smith's J6 case against Trump to be revived after the president leaves office. Oh, Hank. You moron. This just in. I read it to them while you were walking by. Headline Obsessed. Hank Johnson wants Jack Smith's J6 case against Trump to be revived after the president leaves office. This is all you people have? This is it.
And see, here's the problem. Trump is moving forward, moving all of these other pieces around the planet, right? And they're mired here with the same Scrabble tiles that they've had since 2015. And they try to rearrange them in various ways to get some points. Everybody's moved on past your bullshit.
Yeah.
I really don't care anymore about your plans, Hank. Yeah, freaking
They're
goof.
They're like, what? Our playbook isn't working.
Let's do it again.
Page 1 says call them a racist. Page 2 says January 6th. Page 3 says revert back to 1.
Yeah.
Racist.
Is that it?
J6.
Yeah.
Racist. J6. I mean, come on now.
It's so goofy. And if there wasn't true collateral damage, it would almost be humorous. But it's not funny. Neither is this.
No. That's some serious shizzle.
That's just amazing. So that was about 8 months. That's 100 pounds of fat, Kelly tells us. This gentleman was well into the 300 range. Holy mackerel. He looks fantastic. This woman, if you just look at the width of her back, forget any zhuzh. Like, forget the boobs and all that. Look at her back on this one and front and the back. Look at this. Look at this. Look how much smaller she is. How about that one? Look at that. So much smaller. That's crazy. 90 days. Yeah. 90 Ignite. Go to More Gains Fitness. Look, her website, I haven't given it enough credit. She's done a great job with her fitness stuff. Her website's fantastic. There are a million ways for you to get involved at More Gains Fitness. If you're physical in the Pittsburgh area or in the Johnstown, in the Cambria, Somerset County area, I don't know why you're not joining one of her gyms. Look up More Gains Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com. You want to put your mind on right? Go somewhere where other patriots are hanging out, people who care about this country, who love this country, because they're there working out, right? Or maybe you live somewhere else and you're like, well, this doesn't really apply to me. Well, it does, because moregainsfitness.com is going to open up your door to the 90 Ignite program. Click on it, get on the waiting list. Kelly gets in touch with everybody. She's a phenom, and you'll love her. She's great. Love, love, love. Moregainsfitness.com. Think about it. 3 months. What's 3 months from now besides my birthday? I'm not one of those girls. Don't worry about it.
I was going to say, do we have to start 3 minutes? Skizmo, you're right. Page 3 is Epstein.
Oh, gosh.
Now, after you hit Epstein, return back to page 1. You're racist.
True.
January 6th, Epstein.
Proud boy. That's a proud boy.
Yeah.
You don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's a Fed under the Biden administration. That's what that is.
With the flag and the mask.
Well, no, that was the Patriot Front.
The Patriot Front.
Yeah. Khakis. Right after we're done protesting,
Tom.
we're going to go hit 9.
Tom, I really don't know what to wear. Well, let me tell you. Fred and the boys and I are all going to wear the same thing. We think it's going to look
Collared
great.
shirts.
Make sure you go grab your flag. What? Yeah.
Get your khakis.
Make sure you've got your face gaiter on.
Yeah. Then we're going to play 18. Stupid. They think we're stupid.
Oh, Skizmo, I love the flags. Thanks, everybody. Hi, Joe Pruz. What's up, Q Fish, Ray Carr? Hi, Ray Dev.
Epstein. Booga, booga, booga.
Notice when we had a few clips here of Gavin Newsom on earlier in the broadcast. He looks awful. He looks awful. You know, I think that there is absolutely something to be said for having some semblance of peace of mind in your life. For going to a job that either you don't hate or that, I don't know, maybe even stimulates you, makes you feel like you're accomplishing something. Makes you feel proud, gives you meaning, gives you money, right? There's something to be said about having your family together, having things not be fantastic, but not be horrible. Things are in place. There's something to be said for feeling peaceful in this crazy world, because I think more than anything, stress absolutely destroys people, and it eats you out from the inside. And I think I see that on his face. See, he decided, Gavin Newsom did, instead of being in California, instead of caring about the people in California, and instead of doing something with a phenomenal opportunity. And what an amazing gift to be allowed to be the governor of such a great state. I don't see a single reason why a Californian would be proud of his track record. It has been one failure on top of another, but see, here's the deal. He doesn't care about California. He cares about Gavin Newsom. He cares about the feeling of the Resolute desk underneath his fingertips. He cares about the flash cubes going off and the people fawning all over him, as in his mind, his presidency would be something. Oh, it'll be something if he ever got it. But you can tell. You can tell. You can tell during the fires when he was caught on video by a woman who's like, please, where's the water? Where's the water? My home's right there. It's going to jump the street. Where's the water? And he's like, ma'am, step away from me. And then he pretended he was on the phone. I'm on the phone. I got an important phone call. There is a hatred, and I hate that word, for people like that is generational. You don't scrub it away. Gavin Newsom could do anything beneficial. He could move the ball. He could do anything. He could stand up to the elitists who are obviously propping him up, the Alex Soroses of the world who are funding him. And he could look in the mirror and be like, you know what? I'm not so sure my mom and dad would be all that proud of me if they saw what I've been doing, if they saw who I've become. A giant blowhard with a blowout. That's who I am. Because a full display in front of the world. He said this at Davos before he was interviewed. You heard clips of him earlier in the broadcast. The day before that, this is what Gavin Newsom said. It almost looks like he's in the lobby of wherever this whole World Economic Forum thing is. And he basically says to the reporters that Trump hates him. And so his offer to speak to some people at this USA house at Davos was rescinded. And he's all butthurt about it. And then he launches this wacky tirade. And the journalists around him are like, say what? Listen.
Do you have a message for Europeans who are concerned about the messages from the White House around Greenland this week?
Yeah, it's time to buck up. It's time to get serious and stop being complicit. It's time to stand tall and firm, have a backbone. I've seen this in the United States, the supine Congress playing both sides, saying one thing on a text or a tweet and another publicly.
Should you respond with
principles. It's time to stand tall and strong.
Does that mean responding with
tariffs? It's time to stand united. You make that determination. I don't make that determination.
But when you say standing tall, what do you mean?
Just I can't take this complicity. People rolling over. I should have brought a bunch of knee pads for all the world leaders. I mean, handing out crowns and this is pathetic. Nobel Prizes that are being given away. I mean, it's just pathetic. And I hope people understand how pathetic they look on the world stage. I mean, at least from an American perspective, it's embarrassing.
So what should Europe be doing?
You should decide, the Europeans should decide for themselves what to do. But one thing they can't do is what they've been doing. And they've been playing. This guy's playing folks for fools. And it's embarrassing.
Europeans think this is diplomacy and this will ultimately
this is
work.
Diplomacy with Donald Trump? He's a T-Rex. You mate with him or he devours you. One or the other.
And Europe's being
people
devoured?
need to stand, but no, the Europeans could be if they continue down this path and process. They need to stand tall, stand firm, stand united.
He's a little butthurt. Gavin Newsom is. He's desperate to be out there as the media darling for the Democratic Party. You know what he could do? He could stand up and he could actually make a name for himself, but it would have to be authentic. And it wouldn't be authentic, so everybody would be able to see through it and it would destroy him. So I don't know why I'm saying this. He could actually get up. And he could say, you know what? I didn't vote for this guy, but I do care about America. And this president is trying to make America better. And he's trying to make the world better. And I'm interested in hear what he has to say. And Europe obviously hasn't been able to get anything done. The United Nations, NATO, all of the things that these globalist elites say that they're doing hasn't been effective. We still have problems. People are still suffering. There must be a better way. He could say that. You want to know what would make headlines? That. Doesn't have to get into bed with Donald Trump. But he could be fair. The president is here to do something of benefit, to make safer the hemisphere. But instead, he's like, all these people here, these Europeans have to stand up to him. It's pathetic how much they bow down. I'm going to buy them knee pads. They're servicing him so much. Ew. Well, here's the real story. Why Newsom was blocked from entering that USA house. California Governor Gavin Newsom was denied entry at an event at the World Economic Forum Wednesday. Why would you be there? Newsom's speech was canceled at the last minute. What's Newsom doing in Davos anyway? Like, really? So he was informed at the 11th hour that his talk with Fortune at USA House in Davos was canceled. He had been invited to speak on Wednesday at an event sponsored by USA House, which for the first time was recognized by the U.S. government as the country's official headquarters at Davos. But an organizer told his office that they had opted to not include any U.S. officials in the talk, focused on CEOs and other business leaders. So he's supposed to be talking with Fortune, right? Fortune magazine, fortune.com, whatever they are now. And the person from Fortune was like, well, we decided instead of talking to people in the government, we would talk instead to the business leaders, CEOs. We just made a shift. Well, that's not good enough for Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom then says, Donald Trump didn't want me to talk, and so he called them and they shut me out. That's authoritarian. That's politicizing the pro. No, that's just shut up. Sit down. Stop making it about you. You didn't have to be here. You know? You didn't have to be here. In a private exchange of messages obtained by Politico, a Newsom administration official accused the USA House of bowing to political pressure from the State Department, an accusation the organizer denied, while emphasizing the governor was still welcome at the venue in a microcosm of the larger geopolitical tensions on display. Well, the back and forth reflected the political sparring match playing out at the gathering of the world's elite. Newsom, the Democratic governor of California, likely 2028 presidential contender. Who's going to vote for that? Who's going to vote for California on freaking steroids? Who out there is like, my. Oh, I hope he does. Is he going to do it? Oh, gosh, yes. Hurry, kids, we're going to go vote for Gavin now, said nobody. Californians think he's a moron. Trust me. All about him. Newsom was denied entry after he went on a bizarre tirade against President Trump at Davos Tuesday, just played it for you. He had a full-blown meltdown over President Trump during an impromptu interview with reporters in Davos. The Democrat governor blasted European leaders and demanded they stand up to President Trump after a reporter asked him about their reaction to Trump's position on Greenland. Gavin Newsom doesn't want the United States to have Greenland. See, because for Gavin Newsom, he doesn't love America more than he hates Trump. That's not a winning combination. We've had enough people who are in it for the title. I think George Bush was. He was a zero. So was his dad, right? Obama, shiny metal object, first black guy. Everybody, woo, yay, I'm not racist. I voted for that. I didn't, but a lot of people did. Sleepy Joe. Who are these people who want to come forward now? They want to run. They want to be a part of it. They want to be, it's not about America. They don't hug the flag. They don't come out. They don't travel the country and speak every single day at venues as large as football arenas and connect with everyday people and say, I see you. How is it that a billionaire in Donald Trump, who could buy and sell all of us 50 different ways from Sunday, is the one who seems to connect with the non-college educated grunt worker out there, of which we have many. And these are the people who make our stuff, who drive our things. For some reason, this president, who's in a totally different economic echelon, has something in common with people. It's in common with black people, with white people, with rich people, with poor people. And he connects on that level. He protects the herd. He loves the herd. And it's America. Period. Gavin Newsom's never going to be able to do that. He can fly over and inject himself into situations where nobody gives a fat crap about him. But I predict a very short-lived presidential run for that one. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, it is the beauty of the art of the deal in 3 minutes or less. And it is epic Trump on stage at Davos. Worth waiting for. Do not go anywhere. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Honestly, if Gavin Newsom truly cared, it's too late now. He's only got, you could do stuff in California, but it's so screwed. It's so screwed. It's like Virginia now. It's like Virginia now. And what are they doing in New York? They're carving out something, the last Republican congressperson from this district or what have you. They're gerrymandering. They're doing everything that Indiana didn't do. We want to go by the old rules. Well, they're called old. Okay, old.
Well, not just that. Here are the people who railed that Texas did it. Southern California did it. And they still told you how wrong it was. And now they're doing it.
Yep.
And here's the Republicans not playing. There are rules to games. But if you know the other side is cheating, the rules have changed. Play that game. Play the game that you need to play. Because when someone cheats, now you're just I'm in the win the game that I'm in by all means necessary. I'm not going to play by a set of rules while the other guy doesn't. Just not going to happen. Filibuster. End it. End it. They're gonna shut down the government again. And I think that's where Trump's gonna push filibuster of really go and be like, you want to shut it down again? End the filibuster so we don't have to shut it down again. And I think you're gonna see a lot of people get pushed by their constituents to say, hey.
Hey, Ronald from Lewiston, Idaho. Thank you. He bought 2 of our Second Amendment commemorative gifts. Look at that. I love that. Thank you, Ronald. Let's see who else. Oh, look at this.
They hold 30, by the way.
30. Hey, Paul, Carson City, Nevada. Thank you. Thank you. I think they're beautiful, and you know where they come in. So everybody sees it. Suck it, libs. They're like, what's that? You should know what that is, right? And I love that it's Clarence Thomas. He's my original. He's my OG.
We only have 60 left.
Is that it?
Yeah.
We're getting there. We sold out of the first one. We're going to sell out of the second one, and that's going to be that. And we're going to drop the third one.
Brock doesn't have any.
Well, you can have this. I just have enjoyed holding it up. You can have it. Do you want to have it?
You got to get a gun first.
Do you want to hold it up? What's that going to set me back? So as a Christmas gift for us.
You actually...
We bought AR-15s for ourselves. Right? Nothing says, nothing, yes, mine,
Pimps.
Yes, mine's got some stuff that would trigger my sister. I can tell you that much.
Yours was inspired by what I bought, because I bought it, I was going to have one built for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the lower on it, so the part that holds the trigger and has a unicorn on it, which is symbolic, and where it says fire, safety, it says full libtard, safe space. And then my brother built the gun.
When you're ready to go,
it,
you put it on full libtard.
Yeah. Full
when you're ready to go hot. We got to train again. I got to get back out with Kelly and her husband.
Kelly.
I just want to see if he was listening.
Take me up.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, I think I know what it is. And I think fake people are very, very intimidated by those who are authentic. I think authenticity is like, it's like burning oil to somebody who is not. Somebody who is themselves. Trump. Donald Trump doesn't care what you say about his makeup, right? He's not concerned about being called tubby. I'm sure he doesn't give a rip at all about his hair and what people say about that. He wants to go down as a legacy, being a great president. Well, you saw that. Sir, you're already there. For what you've had to go through, the quagmire they dragged you into knowingly, falsely, the garbage they made up, the flames that they fanned with the media, which brings me back to my monologue. So disappointing to watch these talking heads, these TV networks lie day in and day out. Never even try to sound reasonable. It's just all rabid, all reactionary, all angry. And there's Donald Trump. Never raises his voice, doesn't lose his mind, Doesn't say inappropriate things. They obviously have no dirt on him, which must piss them off more than anything. And then he shows up on the world stage in Switzerland. And everybody and his brother who's flown there to see him, to be with him, to watch him. This is why everybody went to the Ellipse that day. They need some of it. This is what he said. The art of the deal in 3 minutes.
Presidents allowed them to get away with it. It became very tough. So when I called up Emmanuel Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened? But I watched him sort of be tough. But he was at $10 for a pill. And I said, Emmanuel, and I have all the big pharmaceutical companies are in total agreement. It wasn't easy, by the way. They're tough, smart. They've been getting away with the scam for a long time. But they gave it up. But they said, you'll never get the countries to approve it. I said, why is that? Because they won't. They always said, we're not paying any more. Get the rest for the United States. So over the years, they stayed the same. We just went up, up, up. And I mean, we would pay 13, 14, 15 times more than certain countries would. So I said, no, they'll approve it 100%. Sir, you'll never get them to approve it. I said, I guarantee you. But I actually started with Emmanuel, who probably is in the room too. And I like him. I actually like him. Hard to believe, isn't it? And I said, Emmanuel, you're going to have to lift the price of that pill to $20, maybe $30. Think of that. That means it's a doubling of prescription drugs. Might be a tripling, might be a quadrupling. It's not easy. No, 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 Donald, I will not do that. I said, yes, you will, 100%. He said, no, no, no. You're asking me to double. I said, Emmanuel, you've been taking advantage of the United States for 30 years with prescription drugs. You really should do it, and you will do it. I have no doubt. In fact, I am 100% sure you're going to. No, 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 I will not do it. Because yes, in all fairness to him, he has to double or triple. Because the world being a bigger place than the United States, it's not that you meet in the middle. You just have to go up some, and we come down a lot. They go up a little, we come down a lot. So we're at $130, they're at 10. So they may have to go to 20 or 30. No more than that. I said, Emmanuel, you're going to be doubling or tripling? No, no, no. I said, here's the story, Emmanuel. The answer is you're going to do it. You're going to do it fast. And if you don't, I'm putting a 25% tariff on everything that you sell into the United States and a 100% tariff on your wines and champagnes. And that's about 10 times more than what I'm requesting. And you're going to do it. I don't want to go public with it, but you may make me do that. No, no, Donald, I will do it. I will do it. It took me, on average, 3 minutes a country, saying the same thing. You will do it. They all said, no, 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 I will not do it. You're asking me to double the cost of prescription. I said, that's right, because you've been screwing us for 30 years. And they said, we will not do it. I said, that's all right. On Monday morning, we're putting a 25, 30, 50. I gave different numbers for different countries.
This is what he does. I'm going to do this. You're going to do that. And if you don't, this leverage that I have will be used against you. The choice is yours. You've been screwing us over for years. That's my president. I'm proud of him. I'm proud to be an American. Come on back tomorrow. Let's wrap it up. Good news, bad jokes, all of it tomorrow. See you then. Peace.